game.
When you're looking at both these quarterbacks tonight, Quinn Ewers and Will Howard, which one do you have more faith in should the game rest or fall onto their shoulders?
I have to go with Will Howard at the current moment. I think Quinn's been playing good football, and, of course, he came up clutch against Arizona State. But it really is kind of like a twofold. I really have more faith in the combination of Will Howard and Chip Kelly at the moment than I do Quinn Ewers and Steve Sarkisian. And I think it really goes back to just what they've been doing with their offensive line, Ohio State, and how they've been able to run the football and be physical at the point of attack and get the edge on multiple runs consistently. So I think that's where I kind of favor. And also Will Howard's ability to be physical and strong, I think will definitely pay dividends. We haven't seen a lot of it yet in the playoff because they really haven't had to use it. But we know that Ohio State has those quarterback-designed runs, and Will Howard being a bigger, stronger quarterback, I think helps in that low red zone area to have those plays in your playbook and at your disposal.
ESPN college football analyst Matt Sims joining us here at College Football Live. Something else, obviously, we saw for the Buckeyes on New Year's Day and the route over Oregon was the big plays, particularly to Jeremiah Smith. Matt, are the big plays either side tonight, are they going to be available given how good both of these defenses are?
Well, it's really just going to come down to the prep, and that's where the war has already been won for both teams. Which team did a better job breaking down film, coming up with plan A, plan B, and plan C, basically the counter moves to what happens throughout the game. And that's where, I still have to give that slight edge to Chip Kelly because I've seen now the past 2 weeks how he has taken similar plays and concepts that Will Howard feels comfortable with, and they have done a great job of basically dressing them up differently for defenses, but with the same result, and getting guys like Jeremiah Smith open in the back end against safeties and one-on-one situations. I think that's something that he has consistently done here in the playoffs for this Ohio State team. So all that stuff will just have to be who prepared better, who is ready with more answers to the test, more counter moves after the first move is made. And from what I've seen so far in the playoffs, Ohio State has done that better than anybody, and I really don't expect that to stop here tonight.
ESPN college football analyst Matt Sims, former quarterback for the University of Tennessee. You caught him each and every Saturday on ESPN Radio's College Game Day. You'll hear him all throughout the lead-up to the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T on Monday night, January 20th. We'll start our coverage, by the way, Monday night, January 20th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on ESPN Radio. The game will also be seen, of course, on ESPN television. I'm Kevin Winter. That'll do it for us on College Football Live. We know the Notre Dame Fighting Irish are waiting in the wings. They will be playing in Atlanta on Monday, January 20th. But who will the Irish face for a national championship? It is Texas. It is Ohio State. We kick it off next in Arlington, Texas. This is the College Football Playoff Semifinals at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recover from and made it like it never even happened. Like when Texas Tech found themselves down 38-7 with under 8 minutes left in the third quarter of the 2006 Insight Bowl. The Mike Leach-led offense scored 31 unanswered points to force overtime, and then won it in overtime by a score of 44-41.
ServPro.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
There's never been a path to a national championship like this. 12 teams chasing one thing that's never been done. Every game, every play, every second matters more than the one before it. And when the confetti falls, only one team will have done something that no other team in the history of college football has ever done. Ever. The College Football Playoff National Championship, January 20th on ESPN.
You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
I'm Kevin Richard. We'll get you off to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, coming up. For the Longhorns and the Buckeyes, it was back on New Year's Day. Texas and quarterback Quinn Ewers needed to convert a 4th and 13 in overtime and then kick an extra point just to force a second overtime against Arizona State. Ewers did it. Touchdown pass. The Longhorns won the game at double OT, 39-31, and all season long, Quinn Ewers has had the shadow of the heir apparent at quarterback for Texas, Arch Manning, standing behind him. Before tonight's game, Quinn Ewers was asked about his future by ESPN's Pete Thamel.
Do you expect to play college football next year?
Nah, I don't.
What have you thought of some of the noise about you sticking around college and going somewhere else?
I hadn't even paid attention to it. I'm not really sure what's going on.
A win, Ewers gets one more game. A loss, and his college career is done. Mel Kiper Jr., by the way, has him ranked 5th on his quarterback big board rankings. Will Howard, by the way, according to Mel, is 6th. It's Ewers for the Longhorns. Will Howard for the Buckeyes. The winner, they go to the national championship game in Atlanta to face the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. With the call of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, we go to AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the 8th-seeded Buckeyes and the 5th-seeded Longhorns with Quinn Kesnick and Ian Fitzsimmons on the sidelines alongside Kelly Stauffer. Here's Mark Kestisher.
Kevin Winter, thank you very much. What an atmosphere we have inside of AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, and tonight, the home of the 89th Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. We had a thriller in the other CFP semi last night in Miami. Notre Dame beating Penn State on that late field goal, and tonight, what do we have in store as the suddenly red-hot Ohio State Buckeyes, the last team standing out of the Big Ten, facing the last team carrying the SEC flag, Texas, in their first year in the conference. Texas playing just 3 hours north from their Austin campus, Kelly, and what kind of game plan will Texas need to devise to try to slow down this Ohio State juggernaut tonight?
Well, the simple answer is since the playoffs started, that game plan doesn't exist because Ohio State has been on cruise control. But I believe this is what you have to do. First of all, you have to deal with the head of the spear, which is Will Howard. He hasn't been uncomfortable in 41 days, which is the loss to Michigan. And then the second thing you have to do is you have to figure out a way to not allow Jeremiah Smith to destroy your defensive game plan. And we'll see if Texas has some answers that the other two teams in Tennessee and Oregon have not come up with.
Will Howard has been absolutely brilliant. By the way, he's never beaten Texas, 0-3 as a Kansas State starter against Texas before coming to Columbus. His downfield passing numbers have been ridiculous thanks to Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, on that one. But Quinn Ewers, the quarterback of Texas, the key for him tonight has to have that run game, right? They did not have it in the game against Arizona State. They were fortunate to win. They did have it in large numbers in the win against Clemson.
If Texas cannot run the football tonight, they have zero opportunity to beat Ohio State. Quinn Ewers is really disciplined and experienced and has that clutch gene that we've seen multiple times in really big moments. But he needs a friend, and that friend is a really, really good run game against a defense in Ohio State that simply doesn't allow you to do that very well.
Well, we have two very good friends, and they are at the top of their craft. They're down on the sideline. Quint Kesnick is going to be covering the Texas sideline. We'll hear from him in a moment. First, let's go downstairs behind the Ohio State bench. Here's Ian Fitzsimmons.
Mark, I talked to Ohio State's co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach Brian Hartline and asked a simple question. What's been the biggest difference you've seen in your team since the start of the college football playoff? And he said, when you put an animal's back against the cage, you got two choices. Get eaten or fight your way out. And we ain't done fighting. Simple as that. And we've seen it the last two games against Tennessee and in the Rose Bowl against Oregon. So get ready, boys. You got some fight in these Buckeyes. Quint?
A question emerging on the Texas sideline after warm-ups. Who will be their field goal kicker? Will it be Bert Auburn, who missed 2 kicks against Arizona State, including a 38-yarder with 2 seconds to go? He's got the most field goals in Texas history. Or will it be Will Stone? Will Stone's a junior. He's their kickoff specialist. 277 kickoffs. Guess how many field goals he's attempted? 0. You add to the fact that he's a lefty, and that could mess with their operation. And one thing's for sure, I think Steve Sarkisian, their play caller, is going to be super aggressive in the red zone and not settling for field goals. Mark?
Quint, thank you very much. We were watching both field goal kickers, and Auburn, who Quint just detailed, Kelly was struggling. There's actually some boomers out there, but if they bring in, he's not a young kid, he's a junior, but not ever having attempted a field goal, be pretty remarkable in this stage.
It really would, and Bert Auburn did look really good in warm-ups, but warm-ups is not in critical moments to get you into the national championship game, and what a debut that would be if Will Stone actually has to kick something in this to try to get it through the upright.
Ohio State has just won the toss. They're deferring to the second half, so Texas will receive. The Longhorns wearing the white uniforms, the burnt orange numbers, the white helmets, white pants, and it's the scarlet red tops of Ohio State with the silver helmets. A lot of burnt orange in the crowd. You can see the scarlet wrapping around the far side of the stadium. Who will play Notre Dame in the CFP National Championship game in 10 days? We're about to find out. Ohio State kicking it off. Fielding sends it deep, and this one will sail over the head of Matthew Golden for a touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for the junior from South Lake, Texas, Quinn Ewers, who threw for 3,189 yards, 29 touchdowns, and once upon a time, Kelly, was on campus at Ohio State 4 years ago, was there for 1 semester, played 2 snaps before going to Texas.
It really is a remarkable story with Quinn Ewers, and it's kind of a storybook that is not ended yet. We thought they were going to get to that national championship game a year ago, but what an ending it would be for Quinn Ewers to take advantage of this second chance opportunity.
Then Travion Weisner is the running back, pistol formation, a play fake, a pass on 1st down to the perimeter. Tight end catches it at the 28-yard line, Juan Davis, and a 4-yard gain out of the right side on the perimeter. Caleb Downs with the early tackle. Denzel Burke also part of that secondary out there on the stop.
Steve Sarkisian, the head coach for Texas, is also a master scripter of plays. He starts with 15 to 20 to begin games and then kind of goes from there. If Ohio State defensively can withstand that barrage of plays early, chances are they're going to play well today.
2nd down and 6. Give to Weiser, looking for a hole. The tight end in his way, Davis, tried to get off that left side and got knocked down. About 2 yards shy of the first, up to the 33. Jack Sawyer with the tackle.
Ohio State really doesn't have a weakness defensively, and they do a lot of different things with 3 safeties, kind of hybrid looks. Caleb Downs chief among them, that I call him essentially the roving eraser. He has a lot of freedom to make plays. Quinn Ewers is going to have to use his eyes to keep Downs out of the way of the football.
3rd down and 2. There are 2 running backs offset behind Ewers, who goes under center. Jaden Blue is the tailback. They give it to the up back. No, it's a play fake and a pass to the perimeter. One-handed catch. 1st down across the right sideline near the 40-yard line by Matthew Golden. What an outstanding play fake and an even better catch.
The table setter offensively for Steve Sarkisian is the outside zone. We've seen play action off of it 2 different times, and then it's the boot to the right, and Matthew Golden makes a spectacular one-handed catch kind of into his left bicep, but also the layering of the throw by Quinn Ewers early in this one.
24-yard pickup using just the left hand to get it. First down and 10. And it's a misdirection play going out to the right side. Ryan Wingo on the end around gets across the 40 and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Wingo with the run. Burke ushered him out of bounds. And Kelly, remember in the first 2 rounds of the CFP, neither Tennessee nor Oregon had a first down. They went 3 and out on both series, and here we go. Texas already across the 50.
And neither Tennessee or Oregon could run the football effectively, and they certainly couldn't get outside. 2 of the best edge setters in football, college-wise, is Sawyer and Tulimoloau, and that time it's a wide receiver, Wingo, that gets out on that play.
Second down and 4 from the 37 of Ohio State. Passes batted down, knocked down. That was Jack Sawyer, who had 3 knockdowns from his defensive tackle position against Oregon and had 2 others against Tennessee. He's been incredible.
A lot of games up front, a lot of stunting, and Sawyer comes inside, doesn't get a very good pass rush, but does what you should do secondarily, and that's get a hand up and knocks that ball down.
Third down and 4 for Texas. Weisner in the backfield. They're at the Buckeye 37-yard line. In the shotgun, snap. Give to Weisner, bouncing off the linebacker and knocked down by Cody Simon. Well short of the first. He got 1 yard. They needed 4 there on third down.
I think the decision to go for it on 4th was already made. Quint told us about the issues with the field goal kicker in Bert Auburn, and so I think Sark runs the ball, tries to get him 3rd and more manageable, and it's 4th down now, and the kicker is not coming onto the field.
4th down and 3. Texas going for it here at the 36-yard line of Ohio State. Motion on the right side. Snap to Ewers. Throws to the right side. Low, knocked down, incomplete. Turnover on downs. They tried to get it to DeAndre Moore, the receiver, and Cody Simon once again, the linebacker, with the stop, and Ohio State will take over. Timeout from Arlington. Texas goes for it on a 4th down, comes up short, and with 11:42 to go in our first quarter, we are scoreless, Ohio State and Texas, and you're listening to the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Texas kicker, but didn't appear he was going that direction anyway.
Well, in that 40 to 49-yard range, Bert Auburn is only batting 50%, and that isn't what Steve Sarkisian wanted right there. Keep your best unit on the field in that situation, which is your quarterback, your veteran Quinn Ewers. Try to pick it up on 3rd down. If you don't, you're in 4th and manageable. I like that decision. You're in no man's land right there anyway. A punt doesn't do you any good.
Will Howard has been absolutely spectacular in the CFP. The starting quarterback has Quinshon Junkins next to him, and they'll hand it off on 1st down from the 37, stretching to the right side, bangs off a tackler at the 40, knocked down at the 41-yard line by Andrew Makuba, the safety, who sealed the double overtime win in the Peach Bowl.
And we see Quinshon Junkins bounce it outside to the right, and he's much more of the physical back more than Trey Henderson is.
Got 5, 2nd down, another give to Junkins up the middle. It's plugged by the Texas D, bounces off, but goes down at the 43-yard line for a gain of 2. This Texas front, Kelly, we talk a lot about Ohio State. This is the number 3 ranked defense. Barron Sorrell that time to tackle.
And Kesty, as much as we like the storylines in this game, championship football comes down to really good quarterback play and situational execution, and this 3rd down for Ohio State on this first drive is a good example of it.
Texas fans getting loud. 3rd and 3 from the 43. Ibuka and Smith both on the right side. It's a pass, and it's caught by Ibuka. 1st down. See where they mark it. Got to get to the 46. He got it at the 47 and got an extra yard. The linesman marks him out at the 48-yard line. Jahdae Barron, the Thorpe Award-winning cornerback, to stop, but a 5-yard gain, and they'll move the chains.
Jahdae Barron was giving Ibuka just a little bit too much cushion. It's almost like Barron did not remember the down and distance, the yards to gain right there, and that was an easy pitch and catch.
Ibuka now with 40 consecutive games with a reception. A play fake for Howard. First down pass nearly picked, but ends up in the hands of Carnell Tate. A first down. Made the catch at the 38 and went down there. Just got it over the linebacker's outstretched arms of Anthony Hill and a gain of 14.
And that was Trey Moore that was underneath that route and almost got his hands on it. But again, the ability to throw that layered route, which simply means sometimes your 95-mile-an-hour fastball isn't needed. You got to layer over a defender, and Will Howard was successful right there.
Both teams over the 50-yard line on their first series. First down and 10 from the Texas 38 for Ohio State. Shotgun snap. Howard short drop. Looks. Takes a deep shot. Looking for Smith. Incomplete. He went up for it at the 2. No flag. Covered by Andrew Makuba and Jahdae Barron.
And Kessie, I think that's certainly going to be the theme. You have Barron underneath and Makuba over the top, really playing deep center field to begin with. But if this ball was a little bit more accurately thrown, Jeremiah Smith goes up and catches balls like that all the time, but it was a little bit too high.
That's how they started at the Rose Bowl against Oregon, with Howard and Smith connecting on a deep one. Instead, it's 2nd and 10 from the plus 38. Howard went up to the line. On second down, takes the snap, hands it off. This is Judkins over the right side, stumbles over the 35. They'll give him the 34-yard line as Lianga Lafau, the linebacker, the stop after 4.
In the first 2 college football playoff games, Chip Kelly has kind of reverse engineered offensively. Instead of running the football to set up the play action pass and RPO game, he's actually passed it initially, and he's doing it a little bit right now. It's more of a good blend on this drive.
3rd down and 6, first series for Ohio State. We're scoreless, 8:50, clock moving, first quarter. Buckeyes at the Texas 34-yard line. Here's the snap. Howard drops over the middle, caught by Ibuka. That's a first down over the 25-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 24. Lefau with the stop again for Texas.
Ohio State has really 3 NFL receivers: Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith, and Carnell Tate. They were in a trips to the left side, and it was a zone defense on the back end, and Ibuka just goes down and fills the void in the zone, and then the timing for Will Howard to throw an accurate pass and move the chains.
Steve Sarkisian says Will Howard throws a very catchable ball. We saw it there. 1st and 10 from the Texas 23. Another pass over the middle, caught. That Smith had to go reach back and got the catch and was dragged down across the 10-yard line to the 9-yard line. That's Ibuka with the catch over the middle for Ohio State and a gain of 14.
And that was the 3rd read for Will Howard, and the beauty of it is how quickly he got back there. There was a running back in the flat, and there was a tight end going to the corner. That was 1 and 2, and then the eyes of Will Howard found Ibuka just in time.
3rd reception for Ibuka. This is the 9th play of this opening drive. 1st and goal from the 9. Quinshon Judkins in the backfield. It's a play fake and a pass over the middle. Dropped by Tate on a slant into the middle of the end zone on his hands. Couldn't hang on, pointing to himself saying, "My bad."
Run the football fairly decently early, and then it's the play action pass off of that. You pull a lineman from left to right to show those second level defenders for Texas this is going to be a run, but actually it's play action. Carnell Tate had 0 coverage underneath him. He had 1 on the slant inside on Barron, but just didn't finish the play.
2nd down and goal from the 9. Under center is Howard. Motion across to the left. Handoff Judkins. Bounces off the middle. Found a seam to the 5, to the 4, to the 3. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. They've got the early lead. 9-yard touchdown run for Quinshon Judkins, his 11th of the year.
Kessie, you asked me a question to start the game. What's the game plan for Texas to slow down this Ohio State offense? The answer is there isn't one that exists as long as Ohio State is executing like they did on this opening drive, all of the Tennessee game, all of the Oregon game, and this Cotton Bowl starts the same way.
Jaden Fielding is on for the extra point for Ohio State. Snap, place down, kick is up, and it is good. And the Buckeyes have themselves a 7-0 lead here in Arlington, Texas, over the University of Texas. 7:24 to go, first quarter, playing for a spot in the national championship game. Let's pause 10 seconds right now for station ID. You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
To the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
7:24 to go first quarter. Ohio State 7, Texas nothing. With Kelly Stoffrey, Mark Kestisher, Quint Kesnick down on the field. And let's start first with Ian Fitzsimmons.
The first thing that Will Howard did, quarterback of Ohio State, was go right to his wide receiver, Carnell Tate, who dropped the touchdown pass before Judkins hit pay dirt and said, "Don't you worry, you know we're good. I'm coming back to you." Over to Texas with Quint.
Well, damage control mode for Pete Kwiatkowski, Johnny Nance, and their linebacker coach, and the rest of the Texas staff scouring through the iPads and the video footage. And it's one thing you prep all week, and the first drive of the game, Ohio State slices and dices their way down the field. Kind of a sobering reality moment for this Texas team. You've seen in the flesh what you're up against.
Appreciate it, Quinn and Fitzy, and that's been one of the tales of the game too, right? Ohio State has dominated first quarters. Texas has dominated defensively early so far in the college football playoff, but giving up 7 there. Matthew Golden is set up on the goal line for Texas as the ensuing kickoff from right to left is steaming its way end over end well over the head of Golden and out the back of the end zone for a touchback, and it's drive number 2, Kelly, for the Texas Longhorns, this time down 7.
Well, in a lot of championship settings like we're seeing right here, the opportunity to get into the national championship game, it's about answering. And Quinn Ewers is the spearhead of Texas being able to answer offensively. Their offense has kind of been an enigma to me because they disappear sometimes. They're outstanding in moments, then all of a sudden they can't get out of their own way. Texas needs something positive to happen right now.
Drive start at the 25-yard line. Ewers in the gun. Weisner to his left. There's the snap. It's a 5-man rush this time. He's swallowed up and Ewers goes down. JTT, that's JT Tuimoloau. First one there, gets the sack.
You're not going to have time against this Ohio State defensive front, who has a ton more juice since the playoff has gotten underway. A lot of their sacks, about half of them, came from the second level up until the playoff began.
4-yard loss, 2nd and 14. It's a fake and a quick pass over to Moore in the slot 30, and Moore is tackled across the 35-yard line. Nice quick play to get a first down over to the 36, a 15-yard pickup.
And that's the set zone, so you have an RPO with the zone run inside and then a set down route by DeAndre Moore out in his slot position, and that was perfectly timed.
6.5 minutes to go, opening quarter, first down and 10, Texas from the 36. Quick pass out to the left perimeter. It is caught in the slot to the 40, 50-yard line. Nearly juked the defender. Tripped up at the 45-yard line is Ryan Wingo, the true freshman, finally taken down by Caleb Downs. But a big pickup across the 50, a 22-yard gain.
And somewhat a change of pace by Texas, and I think it's a good adaptation by Steve Sarkisian to get the ball out quickly and then get up and try to get the next play going as well, because there's a veteran group for Ohio State that wants to get set.
First down play, snap, and a quick pass drop by Weisner, who is sprinting out of the backfield into the flat right, and that will be incomplete.
It's interesting, Kesty, that both of these teams are coming out and basically going play action before they've really ever established the run, and they're throwing the football first.
That big hand you just heard, by the way, they showed Bevo on the screen.
Bevo's a big dude.
Bevo did not travel to the first 2 CFP games. He is here tonight in Arlington. Second down play, handoff. This is Blue coming across the stretch on the right. Simon, the linebacker, takes him down after he gets across the 40-yard line to about the 38-yard line. 4-yard gain.
2 running back set. Blue was on one side and Weisner was on the other, but it's the same play. The table-setting run play for Steve Sarkisian for years has been the outside zone play, and he has 2 really good tackles in Williams and Banks to spearhead that type of execution.
Texas facing a 3rd and 6 from the right hash mark, and now our first flags come flying in. We got a false start against the Texas line.
False start, offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Cameron Williams is back from a sprained right knee. The right tackle flag there. Jerry Magallanes is our ACC referee tonight.
And you can't make a habit out of this. And Texas has been highly penalized at times, and the pre-snap version is the worst of all. But 3rd and 6 becomes 3rd and 11 and becomes the wheelhouse to get pressure on Quinn Ewers right here.
Bull spotted back 5 yards to the 43-yard line of Ohio State for Texas, down 7-0. Motion left side. Here's Ewers back, has a clean pocket. It's closing. Time's up. He's going to go down and sacked for the second time on the series. Out back at the 48-yard line by Ty Hamilton, and JTT picking up another half sack.
Texas is just asking for trouble by getting behind the sticks, and they make a habit of doing that. They're 118th in the country in terms of giving up tackles for loss, and they also give up a boatload of turnovers. That's the way to get out of this game quickly, doing that against Ohio State's defense.
Michael Kern, the punter, is on for Texas. Gets the kickoff, end over end. Brandon Innes waiting for it at the 10. He signaled fair catch and made it. And about the 9-yard line with 4:19 to go in this first quarter. Texas will get it back, or rather Ohio State will get it back with a 7-0 lead over Texas here in Arlington in our opening quarter. This is the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Mark Testisher, back to you in Arlington.
Kev, it seems a long time ago, and Kelly, when they only managed, was it 10 points against Michigan at home in a loss,
10
failed
points.
to make the conference championship game. How did they transform, Kelly?
Well, they had 3 weeks after that heart-wrenching loss to Michigan, and when they came back against Tennessee, we were there to witness that. Chip Kelly had really adopted a new personality in the run game, and it was much more of the counter run, which is kind of a power play. Chip Kelly's known to be an inside zone running guy, and that was a significant development. And then what we saw against Oregon for Ohio State offensively is the layers of RPOs, run pass option, and play action pass that was coming off of that counter run game, which was absolutely lethal.
Ohio State's going to start this drive inside its own 10-yard line. At the 8-yard line, they'll start with a pistol formation. And on first down, a play fake, and they bring it over to Jeremiah Smith coming across the formation, breaks a tackle at the 5, and finally knocked down, shoved over the 10-yard line at the 11. They nearly had him behind the sticks. Trey Moore, the tackle, ends up being a 3-yard gain.
Well, and that's the twin to the same play that Jeremiah Smith scored on against Oregon initially. It's the run pass option off of that counter play. And so Will Howard's literally reading that. And if he wants to pull it, he dumps it to Jeremiah Smith, and we know he knows what to do with it.
Second down and 7 from the 11. Shotgun snap. Howard, short drop. Looks over the middle. Finds Tate at the 15 over the 20-yard line of first down, and finally dragged down near the 25-yard line. Carnell Tate, the third of that outstanding 3-headed receiver corps for the Buckeyes.
Pete Kukowski, the defensive coordinator for Texas, said leading up to this game, we have a plan to cover Jeremiah Smith, number 4, and Ibuka, number 2. I would like to know what that is. This time they were on the left side, but if they try to cover both of those guys, they're giving up a lot of resources in other areas.
First down from the 24. Howard has an incredible clean pocket. There's nobody downfield. He's going to scramble to the right. He's going to tuck it and run 25 and angles out of bounds into the Ohio bench at about the 26-yard line. Good coverage downfield that time, only a gain of 2.
Really good coverage by Texas, and a great decision by Will Howard not to throw that ball into traffic. Usually when Will Howard gets out of the pocket, first of all, he surprises people because he's a big human being. He looks like a tight end, but he's pretty quick as well, but it's usually a good decision, and it certainly was right there.
Quick, smart, and he's been a 72% completer so far this year. Second down, it's an end around. Travion Henderson, who gets a block at the 30, breaks a tackle 35, right sideline 40, and finally out of bounds over the 45-yard line to about the 48-yard line. Henderson, Makuba couldn't get him down, and he ends up with 22 yards.
Initially, Trey Henderson starts in the slot right, goes on what they call orbit motion. It's just basically motion going from right to left behind the quarterback, gets the ball, and it's Henderson that sets up his blocks so well, and that experience and speed showed up right there.
Minute 48 to go, first quarter, 7-0 Ohio State at their own 48. They fake the quick pass to the left. Now Howard throws over the middle high, and G. Scott comes down with it, the tight end somehow over the 40-yard line to the 38 of Texas. G. Scott, the tight end that time, in traffic for 14 yards.
That was a shot play off of the smoke screen or the now screen outside. Initially, Will Howard pumps outside to that quick screen, and then he wants to get the chair route, the wheel route behind that, and the third receiver is G. Scott over the middle, but that was a poor decision, but a fantastic result nonetheless.
Kelly, I don't know how you cover this team with all these receivers and those two backs and Howard's ability to run as well. First down from the plus 38. They put it into the belly of Travion Henderson. He's got nowhere to go. Grabbed from behind and tackled that time. Jermaine Lole and Colin Simmons, the outstanding freshman linebacker, on the tackle. And now a late flag comes in right in the middle of the scrum as guys were getting up. Henderson got dragged, and did Henderson throw a punch? We got three officials right now chatting around Jerry Magallanes, our referee.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 32, 15-yard penalty, the down counts.
Career 32 is Travion Henderson, who heads to the Ohio State bench after the flag.
Very uncharacteristic for most, probably more of any other player than Travion Henderson. He's cool, calm, and collected, and he throws a left right to the face of the defensive player. I think it was Alfred Collins. Ryan Day likes to say this: execution fuels emotion. Well, that's not the right kind of emotion that Ryan Day is expecting out of Travion Henderson.
Just had a few words for Henderson, did Coach Ryan Day, and that marks it back to the 46-yard line. Third down and 24. Second down and 24 for Ohio State. Shotgun snap. It's a play fake, and Howard's got nowhere to go. Well read by the Texas defense, and Ethan Burke comes down with a sack and a loss of 2.
That was well read by the Texas defense, but it wasn't well read by Will Howard. That was a quarterback read where initially he can give the ball up to Q Junkins, or he can get outside and either run it or throw it once he gets out onto the left edge. And that time, quite frankly, he should have given it up to his running back, and Junkins turns around like, what is he doing? Because there was running room by the running back, Junkins.
Very rare bad decision of late for Will Howard. It's third and forever. Shotgun snap, four-man twisting rush. Pass by Howard is caught out on the perimeter at the 50-yard line, and well short of the first down as Quinshon Junkins made the catch, is taken down, and it's fourth down after the 5-yard gain, and we have hit the end of the first quarter as we decide who will play Notre Dame in the College Football Playoff National Championship. It's Ohio State 7, Texas nothing. This is the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This Quint Kesnick is about to take over on offense from the receiving corps. What are you hearing?
Well, Matthew Golden spent about 5 minutes in the medical tent looking at his left ankle, the lower left ankle. He's retaped, and you should see him this next series. Keep in mind, Isaiah Bond has been banged up, injuring his ankle in the Georgia game, in the SEC title game, and he hasn't been the same since. So 2 potential ankle injuries for Texas wide receivers.
Appreciate it, Quint. From the near the 50-yard line, Joe McGuire is going to punt. He's standing at the 38-yard line. Silas Bolden is waiting back at the 10 to our right. There's the long snap, not a lot of pressure. Little sky punt, high, end over end, drifting to his right, and making the catch at the 8-yard line. Here comes Bolden, out over the middle to the 15-20, lost the pole, but it took a great hop right into his hands, and Silas Bolden able to recover and get to the 25-yard line. That was danger zone, but it took an incredible hop for an odd-shaped ball, the football right back to him.
And that was well set up. That punt was directed over to the numbers on the left side of the field, and there was a a return set up on the opposite side, and it was just a matter of whether Bolden could get to that wall of his colleagues, and he almost got there. That would have been a massive momentum shift for Texas.
Caden Curry on special teams punched it out, but Bolden was able to recover, and so Texas begins at its 25-yard line. Snap to Ewers, give, hit in the backfield, but staying up is Weisner, and then finally tackled behind the sticks. Looks like he might have lost a yard, maybe 2 yards, to about the 23-yard line. Lathan Ransom, the safety that time, with the pressure.
And the key there is Rantham, and he's a safety, and he was literally on the line of scrimmage, penetrated the A gap, and really bubbled that play, blew it up before it could get started.
Second down and 12 at the 23. The motion out of the backfield and a snap to Ewers, who fakes the pass to the flat and now throws it out beyond the numbers. It is caught by Weisner, and he's tackled at across the 28-yard line. That was Jaden Blue, actually, in a 4-yard gain. There is a flag down on the far sideline as well, right about where Jordan Hancock made the tackle. Another convergence of officials, including Jerry Magallanes of this ACC crew.
Face mask, number 2 offense. 15-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's on Matthew Golden, who's become the golden child for Quinn Ewers. Those two have a great connection. And so 2 skill players on both sides of the ball now having penalties on this last couple of drives. Travion Henderson on the last, and this time Matthew Golden.
And Golden was the point man out on that block, and he definitely grabbed the face mask. I believe it was Cody Simon that was out there trying to get to the wide receiver on that screen.
Second down, back beyond the 15-yard line. Ewers has a sidearmer over the middle. It is caught by Moore, and he gets to the 25-yard line, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. A 10-yard gain that time. DeAndre Moore, Ransom, and Cody Simon with the stop.
And Quint talked about this with the banged-up receiving core. That's one of the things that I think stunted the growth of Texas offensively, is Quinn Ewers didn't form those bonds with the receivers, completely remade wide receiver room, and then they've been banged up a lot this year.
3rd and 11 for Texas. They're 1 for 3 on 3rd down. Snap, Ewers back. Here comes the press, knocked out, ball's loose. Looked like Texas got on. It's loose again inside the 15-yard line. Recovered by Texas. But again, the ball came out. DJ Campbell had the recovery of the lineman, and it's a loss of 10 after Sonny Styles knocked it free.
And Sonny Styles was on the left side of the quarterback in his face, lined up outside of Jack Sawyer. And so the message is this from Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator. We don't think you can block us. We think we can get pressure before you can get one of your banged-up receivers open down the field. And so far, Jim Knowles has been right.
Michael Kern on to punt from inside the 5, sends one high, backpedaling. This time is Downs. Makes the catch at the 35-yard line, runs to his left. He's got nowhere to go, and he's tackled inside the hash marks at about the 33-yard line this time. That's where Ohio State will take over after the 50-yard punt with 12:28 to go. Second quarter from Arlington, Texas. Ohio State leading Texas 7-0. You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. In Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium, Ohio State 7, Texas nothing, playing for a spot in the College Football Playoff National Championship in 10 days. Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stoffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quint Kestnick, our entire ESPN Radio crew. And Kelly, 3 possessions for Texas. They turned it over on downs the first time. They punted away the last 2, and they cannot get this running game going early.
Yeah, and I said that at the top. If Texas can't run the football against this Ohio State defense, they have little to no opportunity to win this game. And if you take the sack yardage out of it, Texas has 13 yards rushing, and Quint pointed out that now we're beyond Steve Sarkisian's script that he's so well known for after 16 plays, and it seems to be pretty pass heavy. If you're one-dimensional against Ohio State's defense, you're going to get smothered, and we're already seeing that as they have 3 sacks, and we've just basically begun the second quarter.
And we're being told Matthew Golden, who's been the outstanding deep threat for Quinn Ewers in Texas, now been taken to the locker room. We'll keep you posted on that. Ohio State takes over on offense. The drive start will be the 34-yard line, 12:28 to go, second quarter, 7-0 Buckeyes. Judkins in the backfield. It's a sprint to the left for Howard. Throws for the sideline. Tate's got it. He's hit right as he made the catch at the 41-yard line and driven down by Malik Muhammad, the corner, after a gain of 7.
A two-man route, and Will Howard is coming out to the left on a boot. Really a naked boot. He didn't have any assistance out there, and he had a short route that he ends up throwing to Cornell Tate, and behind that was a corner route to Ibuka that was covered really well.
An outstanding matchup on the right side as we watch it for Jeremiah Smith, the outstanding freshman receiver, and Jahdae Barron, the Thorpe Award winner. They pass to Tate, quick on the left side, negotiates a first down outside the numbers over the 45-yard line to the 46-yard line for a gain of 5.
And what we see at times is Texas is willing to put Jahdae Barron man-to-man outside all by himself against Jeremiah Smith. The Thorpe Award winner is Barron, the best defensive back in the country, and I don't know that you want to make a habit of getting one-on-one with Jeremiah Smith.
They don't travel Barron to Smith, who's on the left side. Here's the snap. Howard has no time, and he's just got to fire one way over the Ohio State sideline to the left. Nearly took out the water cooler over there. Bill Norton, the nose tackle, got the pressure up the middle for the Texas Longhorns.
That was one of the keys to this game, Kesty, is could that four-man rush that Texas depends on defensively make Will Howard uncomfortable? The bottom line is there was plenty of time to throw that football. There just wasn't anyone open, and Howard in the end makes a good decision and throws the football out of bounds.
There's a huge lump on the left hand of Will Howard, the non-throwing hand, like over that first and second finger. We'll keep an eye on that one. And here's a pass out to the perimeter, caught by Jeremiah Smith. Flag comes out as he goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Flag down on the near side, could be a hold.
I think Ibuka, who was blocking for Jeremiah Smith on that screen, might be the guy that got called for the hold out on the edge.
That's the indication from Jerry Magallanes.
G. Scott was also out
Holding.
there.
Offense number 2, 10-yard penalty, second down.
We have not seen Ohio State really shortchange themselves over this outstanding stretch here now in the third game. 2 big offensive penalties.
So if you're Texas, you can be encouraged by that, because that's a lack of execution that we haven't seen in the playoff from Ohio State offensively yet. So it's a little bit of an open door. Ohio State's presenting something they haven't recently.
Second down and 20 after the 10-yard penalty. Line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line for the Buckeyes. In the scarlet red uniform, silver helmets, showing pressure Texas. There's the snap. Comes the rush up the middle. Check down, throws it, caught by the tight end Kazmarek. He's over the 45-yard line and finally taken down at the 48-yard line by freshman Colin Simmons. They got 12 of the 20 back. They'll make it 3rd down and 8.
This reshuffled and revamped offensive line because of injuries is actually holding up quite well, protecting Will Howard against this Texas defensive front. And he had plenty of time to just kind of manage that down in distance, get enough to make 3rd a little more palatable.
Jeremiah Smith lined up on the numbers on the right against Jahdae Barron. 3rd and 8, Ohio State. From the 48-yard line, snap to Howard, looking middle, looking, throwing on the cross, incomplete. Tried to find Ibuka crossing from left to right along the 40-yard line. Manny Muhammad in coverage that time. It's 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for the Buckeyes.
Jelani McDonald was the safety over top of Jeremiah Smith, and then you have Barron underneath. I would expect us to see a lot of that out of Texas defensively tonight. It's basically a way to double team Jeremiah Smith. It worked well right there, and it's really the Michigan defensive game plan. Play too high and force Jeremiah Smith into a situation where he always has the top over him.
Joe McGuire to punt from the 35-yard line, sends one end over end. This one will hit at the 5-yard line. It checks up beautifully back to the 10 and then circles back inside the 10-yard line and finally deadened around the 8-yard line. A beautiful punt that time by McGuire of 44 yards. And Texas will start this drive from inside their own 10 after the timeout. 9:52 to go. Second quarter, Ohio State 7, Texas nothing. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You're listening to the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
7-0 Ohio State leading Texas. 9:52 to go second quarter. Kelly Stauffer, I'm Mark Kestisher. Ian Fitzsimmons covering Ohio State. Let's go down to Quinn Kestniks on the Texas side. What's the feeling down there after that latest stop?
Well, there's a little surge of confidence because Texas now has forced back-to-back punts from Ohio State. And we haven't seen that much during the college football playoff. A concern, though, Matthew Golden was taken to the locker room with that left ankle injury. It remains to be seen whether he'll have an impact. Keep in mind, he's got 20 catches this season, 20 catches of more than 20 yards. So he's a big play phenomenon for the Longhorns.
Yeah, and Isaiah Bond being really the thoroughbred in that offense that's supposed to be the deep threat, and then you can use Golden as the guy that can slice and dice really in that intermediate game, and they just simply don't have that right now. But here's another area of confidence that Texas should be seeing is they're forcing Ohio State behind the sticks. That's how they're getting off the field. Uncharacteristic mistakes by Ohio State.
Texas from the 9 will run it. Wisner off the left guard gets over the 15-yard line. He'll get 6 yards on first down. Ty Hamilton and Sonny Styles with the tackles for the Buckeyes.
Neither of these teams have been very good on third down. We know that Ohio State offensively has gotten behind the sticks because of penalties. Texas is needing over 7 yards a pop on third down, so their first and second down have been dreadful. So +6 on a run to start this is a promising beginning for this drive.
Here's a second down play, and they're going to go to Wisner again. Tries to negotiate the right side, and he's got the first. Had to get the 19. He gets to the 20. He's got 5, so that's 11 yards on 2 carries after, what did you say, 13 net yards in the first couple of series.
Yeah, exactly, and Ohio State is putting a bunch of bodies toward the line of scrimmage, but the last 2 runs, Texas has been successful. Ohio State is not giving respect to the receiving corps for Texas right now.
First and 10, this will be a pass play from the 20. Ewers throwing downfield, going up high, making the catch. No, it's incomplete. Tried to find Gunnar Helm, the tight end, is a little slow to get up here. Finally getting up to one knee, and he got popped by Sonny Styles that time.
Gunnar Helm had found a little void in that zone. Ohio State was showing that pressure. They call it simulated pressure. We're showing pressure, but we're backing out of it. Ewers set his feet, but that ball ended up high and gave the defender time. It was Sonny Styles to drive on it and blow that play up.
Texas fans not happy. They wanted to look for targeting. I thought it was a clean tackle. I didn't see any contact to the head. Are they going to look up at the video? We'll see. Right now they're holding them up momentarily.
There wasn't targeting called on the field, so it would now have to be initiated by the booth, and it would have to be with the crown of the helmet.
8 minutes, 45 seconds on the game clock.
They're changing the game clock. It looked clean to me live, and it looked clean on the replay that I saw, but Steve Sarkisian's looking up at the big board, here at Jerry World. It's a massive screen above head, and maybe they saw an angle that I didn't see. I thought it. Let's go downstairs to Ian Fitzsimmons.
I'm right here, Kesty, and let me tell you, Mark, it was a clean hit. Violent does not mean targeting.
Absolutely. It was violent. I thought it was more to the chest, not to the head or neck.
And it wasn't with the crown of the helmet, and those are the 2 areas that you could call targeting. It would be to the head and neck area on a defenseless receiver, which Helm was, or with the crown of the helmet by the defender.
Second down and 10. Here's a pass out to the slot receiver. Moore makes the catch at the 22-yard line. DeAndre Moore immediately tackled by Jordan Hancock for a gain of 4. Third down coming up for the Longhorns. And Gunnar Helm, who was out momentarily, is back on the field. But is that JT Tuimoloau, the outstanding edge rusher, down on both knees and now rolling over and reaching toward what looks to be his left ankle near that foot area. They're checking out JTT. He is part of the secret sauce of this defensive front for Ohio State. And while they check out, JTT will step away. 8:31 to go. Second quarter, it is 7-0. Ohio State leading Texas. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Listening to the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Face Notre Dame for the title. Ohio State 7, Texas nothing. 8:31 to go second quarter. Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stauffer, Clint Kesnick with you. Big injury report right now from the Ohio State side. Here's Ian Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, JTT, their outstanding defensive end, number 44, rolled that left ankle, and he had both hands on his face mask, getting up off the field when the doctors carried him, not carried, but helped him off the field. He could barely put any weight, Kesty, on that left ankle.
Appreciate it, Ian. 10 sacks, 17 tackles for loss. It's a big moment right now as JTT is checked in the tent, Kelly, for Ohio State.
And that has been a huge difference with this Ohio State team defensively is JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer have gotten consistent pressure as the playoffs started. A lot of the pressure, about half the time, had come from off-ball defenders prior to that.
Kenyatta Jackson replacing JTT on one of the edges. 3rd and 6, Texas here. Ewers the snap, throws downfield. It's incomplete. Do we have a flag? No. Ryan Wingo, the intended receiver. I thought Jordan Hancock was getting handsy with him down that left sideline, and it's incomplete, 4th down.
And Wingo ran a flat and up. You can call it a rail route or a wheel route, and I think you might be right. Jordan Hancock was the safety that was up covering Ryan Wingo. I think the next wide receiver superstar for this Texas program, and I think he got held. He never really got into his route much.
The only question would be, was it a catchable ball? That might be the only thing. Texas out to punt from its own 10-yard line. Punt is away. Oh, it's a bad one. Sliced to the right. Downs signals fair catch as he sprinted to his left and made it at the 35-yard line. And again, Texas has not scored. 8:07 to go here in the second quarter. 7-0 in favor of Ohio State. And while the Texas offense, Kelly Stauffer, struggles, the defense starting to get to Will Howard just a little bit, get him off his platform. He's been very comfortable, and now they're going to have to come up with another defensive stop.
Well, there is a saying that as good as Ohio State has been offensively, the only team that beats them is not a defense, it's themselves. And I think that's kind of what the last 2 drives have been. They've gotten behind the sticks because of penalties, and then Will Howard, a couple of bad decisions and an errant throw, and Texas was able to get off the field defensively 2 times in a row.
Buckeyes will start the drive at the 35-yard line. Snap to Howard, give to Henderson, up the middle, nowhere to go. His offensive line tries to push him from behind. Might have got a half yard. Bill Norton plug in the middle for the Texas defense.
Kessie, we talked about the change in mentality as we see a Texas defender having a hard time.
I think that's Norton who made the stop. It is.
Getting up. But more of the counterplay and moving offensive linemen versus the inside zone run. And I think that has been a better fit for this kind of reshuffled, remade offensive front.
Good news for JT Tuimoloau. Looks like they taped up that left ankle. He's trying to run some sprints on the sideline and talk his way back in the next time they're on defense.
Well, what you can do with the defensive end, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's the left ankle. So you can put him on really the right side, whichever side he's more comfortable with. When he plants that upfield foot to get downhill and close on the quarterback, you have to figure out what side would be best for him with that left ankle injury.
Let's check in down on that Buckeye sideline. Here's Ian.
That's a heavy layer of black tape on that left ankle, Mark, and he's got a look of angst on his face right now. This is going to be a mental toughness test as to how much pain he can handle.
Appreciate it. Ian Fitzsimmons down on the Ohio State sideline. Meanwhile, for Texas, Bill Norton finally up and slowly headed over to the Texas sideline.
Travion Henderson was the inside runner on that play and literally dropped his helmet right into the face mask of Bill Norton. There will be a day when that will be targeting on the offensive player, the running back in that case.
2nd and 10. It's a pitch. Judkins, flag out as he found a seam over the 35 to the 40-yard line, but the marker is down at the line of scrimmage. David Benda had the tackle, but this one might be coming back.
Holding, offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Josh Fryer, the right tackle, penalized, so it's 3 hurtful penalties on the last 3 drives for Ohio State on the offense.
The first time Ohio State had the ball, remember, it's been a while in that first quarter, but a little over 5 minutes, 10 plays, 64 yards, ends up in the end zone. The next 2 drives were punts because they were aborted really by penalties, and there's your penalty right there. Good offenses find a way to overcome adversity within a drive. We'll see if Ohio State can do it right here.
We are told that Bill Norton, the nose guard, will be all right. He's still not back on the field. Jermaine Lole has replaced him. Late in the clock, 2nd down and 20. Clock at 2. There's the snap to Howard. Howard with time. Now pressure. Throws on the check down to Scott. Hit as he made the catch at the 30. Able to fold forward a few more yards. Out to the 33-yard line. Scott, the tight end, knocked down by Mo Blackwell and Malik Muhammad after getting 7 yards back. It's 3rd down.
And more split safety coverage on the back end for Texas. And again, it's somewhat the Michigan template. We're not going to let these thoroughbreds outside, chief among them being Jeremiah Smith, beat us. We're going to keep a top on both sides, so it's the middle of the field. It's the tight ends and running backs that have to make their way in the pass game for Ohio State.
3rd and 13, Ohio State from their own 33. Snap to Howard, and we're going to blow the play dead. It was so loud in here with Texas fans wanting a stop. You couldn't hear that far left side official after the flag went down. Did they move too quickly? Pre-snap penalty. 3 officials surrounding Jerry Magallanes.
False start, offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
2nd penalty on this series for Ohio State against their offensive line.
That one, Kesty, was on Luke Montgomery, and he's one of those guys that they really found during that 3-week period before the Tennessee game after the Michigan loss. Luke Montgomery became one of those starting guards where they needed fortification in the middle of this offensive line.
Whole lot of Texas noise being made right now. 3rd down and about 18 yards to go. From the 25, snap to Howard, looking left, still looking left, throws left. Tate, did he get a foot down as he made the catch? The lineman sprints up. It's going to be short of the first, but yes, made the catch out at the 42-yard line, had to get to the 45, and it's 4th down.
Really good coverage on the back end. It was a rush 3, drop 8, create a lot of clutter, and even though Will Howard makes a really good throw over the top of the underneath coverage, which was the linebacker Anthony Hill, to thread that ball into Tate, didn't reach the line to gain, and that frustration you see now on Will Howard after that series.
Ohio State's going to punt. McGuire at his 30-yard line takes the long snap, no pressure, sends an end over and kick. Fair catch signal made by Silas Bolden as he makes the catch just inside the 15-yard line. A 44-yard punt, and with 5:22 to go in the first half, we thought maybe it would be some offensive fireworks here tonight, but it has been the defenses. 7-0 Ohio State leading Texas. And Kelly, it felt like Ohio State had that quick early score. Second series got over the 50 quickly, but ever since then, the Texas defense has stopped it. It feels like, Texas with their offensive struggles may be farther out. They're only 1 play away from tying the game. How they done it?
Yeah, you say the Texas defense stopped Ohio State 3 times in a row. I give 50% of the credit to Ohio State's offense.
Stopped themselves.
Because of the penalties, they've gotten behind the sticks, and it's hard to play good offense, let alone efficient offense, when you're always behind the chains. However, something has to happen positively for Quinn Ewers in this Texas offense. I talked about that at the beginning, kind of that word enigma, where it's a mystery. It's something that you can't understand. It's a team that looks so gifted, but they're 118th in tackles for loss. They're always working uphill. And oh, by the way, they're 125th in turning the ball over. So sometimes they can't get out of their own way, but when they're on, they're really good, and Quinn Ewers has kind of that clutch gene, but something has to happen right now. This is the problem, and Quinn's been reporting reporting on this on the Texas sideline. Where are you going to get your explosive plays? You don't really have receivers to throw the ball vertically to. They're trying to get Wingo in the mix, but he's a freshman still trying to find his way around. And right now, Jim Knowles is sending us a message. We're crowding the line of scrimmage. We're not going to let you run it, and we're not afraid of any receivers that you're putting out there right now.
Texas will take over. Let's check out on the Ohio State sideline and check in with Ian Fitzsimmons.
Ohio State quarterback Will Howard has a golf ball-sized contusion on the back of his left hand. That's his non-throwing hand. When I say golf ball-sized, it literally is golf ball-sized, and it looks like it's about to pop.
Well, don't pop it, Ian. Let's start there. But A, he's right-handed, and B, they're hardly ever under the center. That's where your left hand as a righty would hurt when you're taking a snap directly, but they're in shotgun most of the time anyway.
It's over to the Texas side. Here's Quint Kesnick.
Texas just breaking their offensive huddle around their head coach and play caller, Steve Sarkisian. Arch Manning leaning in and listening. We haven't seen the young quarterback, 16 in white. Potentially they have some packages for him. We'll see. Gunnar Helm has also been absent in this game. 85, their tight end, one of their best players. Very clutch, really good in terms of making a catch and getting yards after catch. He's been ultra quiet. Let's see what Coach Sark has up his sleeve on this drive.
Appreciate that cue as Texas will take over on his 15-yard line. Still no JTT. I see Caden Curry will start on the defensive line spot on the left for Ohio State. First down, Texas. Quick pass to the slot. Caught by Bond. Makes the catch at the 15. Gets out across the 20-yard line. Out to the 23. Isaiah Bond dealt with an injured ankle in the SEC title game, and you pointed out he has not been effective since, but they get him going quickly here.
Yeah, and those thoroughbreds that really make a living off their speed, when they get a hangnail, it's a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal for you and I to have a ankle that didn't feel all that good, but for those guys that run faster than most people on the planet, that ankle makes him slightly ineffective.
2nd and 2, they fake, and it's a pitch back to Blues out over the 25-yard line. That's a Texas first down. Gets to the 26-yard line. Davison Igbinosun, the cornerback, with the stop. Ian Fitzsimmons reporting up to us that JTT told coaches he is good to go in. We'll wait and see if he does return. Right now, 4.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Ohio State 7, Texas nothing. Trey Wisner in the backfield. First down and 10 from the 26. Texas on the left hash marks. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Snap, handoff. Wisner grabs it, and he's spun down at the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4. Tyleik Williams and Caleb Downs on the stop, and the clock moves under 4 minutes to go in the half.
Caleb Downs comes with a heavy hand down in the box, and that's one of those changes that were made with Jim Knowles saying after that Oregon loss early in the season, we need to be more aggressive and we need to use Caleb Downs in a roaming type of a racer type way.
2nd down and 5, empty backfield snap. Ewer's going to take a shot downfield, overthrew the intended receiver. DeAndre Moore was sprinting down the left seam. Ball landed at about the 20-yard line of Ohio State. Jordan Hancock, the nickelback that time in coverage.
There was a moment there where DeAndre Moore might have had a chance. There wasn't help deep. It was on a post. Jordan Hancock had pretty decent coverage. He was in the hip pocket, and the beauty with Jordan Hancock, he can fit the run heavy in the box, but he has kind of coverage ability like a corner would have.
3rd down and 5, motion from the right side. Snap, Ewers now climbs the pocket, throws sidearm, and it's incomplete. Downfield for Isaiah Bond. It was all by himself in the middle of the zone, but could not hang on. Would have been a first down at the 45. Instead, it's 4th down.
When Ewers climbs in the pocket, there was edge pressure, and then Bond comes on a dig route, and it just wasn't very well thrown, but it's certainly a ball that Isaiah Bond should have caught, and Texas would have moved the chains.
Instead, the punter is on. A little bit of a high snap. Kick is away, right to left. Fluttering, Caleb Downs will wave. Fair catch inside the 25, just outside the 25. Makes it at the 26-yard line. with 3:23 to go in the first half. 7-0. Texas trailing Ohio State. 42-yard punt and no return as both offenses have cooled now, Kelly, here in the second quarter. All we got is that first drive touchdown for Ohio State, and the defenses have really put their thumbprint on this game.
And I guarantee you that Chip Kelly and Ryan Day, Chip Kelly's upstairs, Ryan Day is downstairs, gave up play calling this year because his mentor, his college coach, comes over to call plays from UCLA, and the message is very simple. Quit shooting ourselves in the foot. Drive the football like we did in drive one today.
27-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Snap to Howard, first down. It's a long give, and it's Judkins who runs. He's got nowhere to go. Tried to go north-south and got maybe a yard up to the 27-yard line. Jermaine Lole and Colin Simmons teamed up on the tackle as the clock ticks toward 3 minutes to go in the half.
And that was that counter run play that we're talking about. Two pullers from right to left, and then Judkins tucks in behind them. And then Texas can either spill it, where they play under it and get it to the outside, or they can kill it, which just simply means box it in, and they boxed it in really well right there.
Officially no gain, so second down and 10. There's the snap, pressure coming, quick throw, it's short and it's incomplete. Heavy pressure that time coming over the middle, was tipped by Colin Simmons, who's going to be the next big star for Texas, the freshman linebacker from right here in Dallas, and it'll be third down.
Well-timed pressure by Texas that time. Right before the snap, they brought an extra defensive player, and then Colin Simmons got that long body up in the air right in the throwing lane in between Howard and the outlet receiver to the right.
Texas fans getting loud again here at AT&T Stadium. 3rd and 10 Buckeyes from the 27-yard line. Judkins in the backfield, snap to Howard. Howard has no time, and he's going to be tackled. Sacked back at the 20-yard line. Anthony Hill does the honors. And the Texas defense coming alive here late in the first half.
Malik Muhammad that time was on Jeremiah Smith, even though he had help over the top, and it was a coverage sack because initially there was time to have a concept develop down the field and throw this football. There was pressure. There wasn't anyone underneath in the coverage, and Jeremiah Smith, once again, is part of the story. He could not get open. That time it wasn't even Barron. It was Malik Muhammad covering him.
They will not punt yet. They'll let the 2-minute timeout hit, and then we'll get the punt from Ohio State. And as we get a break here, the Texas fans in burnt orange all around this AT&T Stadium, coming alive just 3 hours from campus in Austin. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Zuniga is our engineer, Keith Parsons our statistician, Ken Benowitz is our spotter, our program director, network play-by-play, Pete Saccone along as well. We saw in the Rose Bowl game, Kelly Stauffer, that Oregon got a score, avoided a shutout in the first half. They were able to play that middle eight, get a score in the second half, albeit way too late. But it's only 7-0. What does Texas have to do here with 2 minutes to go when they get the ball back?
Well, offensively, it's tough sledding right now because of what we've talked about. It's difficult to throw the ball vertically when your wide receiver room is really banged up. Quinn has pointed out that Matthew Golden, he actually got rolled up when he was out blocking on the edge for an outside run play. And then Isaiah Bond has been ineffective. He had 22 plays last week against Arizona State, but he wasn't really effective. He was only targeted twice, didn't have any catches. And those are your guys that have to bring kind of the dynamic element to this offense. If you don't have that, it's very difficult. And then on top of it, Ohio State just simply doesn't let you run the football consistently.
Speaking of Texas, on their sideline downstairs to Quint Kesnick.
I've been very impressed with the amount of Texas players that have played to the defensive line in this game. I've counted at least 8+, and they're doing a wonderful job of substituting prior to third downs. They're not matching anything Ohio State throws out in terms of personnel, but they're able to be fresh and have great energy on third down, and they're starting to get pressure on the Ohio State quarterback. Colin Simmons, 11, has been most impactful, but I've just been impressed with the way they're rotating fresh bodies in game 16.
And when we discussed at the top of the show, Kelly, how Texas could win that game, that was one of the keys, right? We wanted to see a run game. Haven't really seen that so far, but they had to get some pressure on Will Howard, not make it so easy for him.
Yeah, Texas needs to, and they have, as Quinn pointed out, made Will Howard a little bit uncomfortable, but it's been a really good blend between very good coverage, which people haven't been able to do against Ohio State's 3 NFL wide receivers, coupled with the rush up front.
Well, they're now going to snap from the 20-yard line. Joe McGuire will punt from his 5-yard line. Silas Bolden for Texas is waiting at the 37-yard line. There's the long snap and kicking it end over end and away from Bolden, who sprints to his right, signals fair catch, and makes it at the 41-yard line. Tough catch that time. All 3 timeouts for both teams. At 1:52 to go in the half. Texas has been shut out thus far here in the first half. Just a 39-yard punt, an outstanding field position for Quinn Ewers and Texas. 8 for 15 passing, 91 yards. Wisner is their leading rusher with 20, but only 3.3. And as you pointed out a couple of times, Matthew Golden has not been able to play here in this second quarter due to injury, and Isaiah Bond has already been knocked up. They have certainly, or nicked up I should say, they have certainly been hurt on that end of the ball. We'll see what they do here. Shut out for the first 28 minutes of the half. They'll start the drive at their 41-yard line. It is a running play up the middle, and stopped at the 41-yard line was Quintravian Wisner by Caleb Downs that time. It'll bring up second down and the clock moving here with 1:40 to go in the half.
And the theme from Ohio State defensively, Mark, is what we've talked about. Jim Knowles is just putting a bunch of hats on the line of scrimmage because he just doesn't feel threatened by what Texas presents in terms of their wide receivers and tight end right now.
Texas taking its time. There's the snap on second down, a fake pitch. Now they'll throw it incomplete. There was nothing, it was pressure coming up the middle. And Ewers threw it out of bounds at the sideline. Doesn't seem to be a lot of spark on this drive here with 1:15 to go in the half. Ohio State will receive the second half kick.
Yeah, we talk about that middle 8, the last 4 of the first half, the first 4 of the second half, but the bottom line is Texas isn't executing much of anything currently, and Gunnar Helm has been non-existent. He was the target on that play, but just simply could not get open, so Ewers had to throw it away.
Third down and 10 for the Longhorns from the 41. Snap, backside pressure, climbing the pocket. Ewers going to run, 45, knocked down at the 50-yard line, just shy of the line to gain, which was the plus 49, a hard hit. Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles that time got the hit. It's 4th and 1.
Interesting decision by Steve Sarkisian. It looks like he's keeping his offense out there to maybe snap the ball quickly right here, and Ohio State probably just called a timeout.
Officials stop the clock
ruling
with
on the
101.
field is a first down to complete a
Oh.
catch is under further review.
Okay, then who gave him the good spot? Because it looked like he was about a yard short.
At least, I think, a yard short. And Quinn Ewers does a very good job of stepping up in the pocket. He rarely runs with the football. Most of the time, he does what's called manipulating the pocket. He moves around enough to get his throw off. His knee's down at about the 50, and the ball is very close to where his knee was. So I think this is going to be short by a yard to the line to gain.
Kelly, I can't tell in the replay, as he's about to go forward and get hit, he looks over to the left side. I don't know if there was a player, a defender, or if he was looking for the sticks.
I think he was looking for the sticks, but as his left knee goes down just before the 50, the ball was really in an upright position, and I think the ball's going to be marked very close to the 50 itself. The line to gain is just across that by about a yard.
Jerry Magallanes, our lead official of this ACC crew, here in Arlington, Texas.
You have better eyes than me. Do you agree with what I just said?
I do, yes. And we were watching that off a nice big screen monitor here. I do believe that knee was down and the ball was kind of north-south and not to the 49-yard line. That's Kelly Stauffer. I'm Mark Kestisher, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quinn Kesnick down on the sidelines, our entire ESPN radio crew. Notre Dame with the win over Penn State last night on the game-winning field goal late. The Fighting Irish waiting an opponent for the College Football Playoff National Championship 10 days from tonight, January 20th. here on ESPN Radio, ESPN Television. 1:01 to go in the first half. 7-0 Ohio State leading Texas. The Longhorns have all 3 of their timeouts, and we're waiting to see here if it's 4th and inches or if they did get a first down. And here comes Jerry Magallanes, who comes from behind the screen, about to open his microphone. Talking on his internal microphone with his officials. Probably checking the placement of the sticks right now, line of scrimmage, clock. And then give
ruling
us an
on the
idea.
field, the runner's knee was down and it was short of the line to gain at the 50-yard line. It would be 4th down and 1. This qualifies for a 10-second subtraction. The clock was at 1:11. It's reset to 1:01, and it will start on my signal.
The question, Mark, for me is as Quinn Ewers stays out there, and actually it's Arch Manning that probably is one of those packages, specialty packages that Quinn Kesnick talked about.
Arch Manning, as you mentioned, is in. 4th down and 1. He's in the gun. 1:01 to go in the half. Motion across the front. And it's going to be Manning going to run it to the right side. And he's got the first down, stumbling over the 45. Lost the ball late, but they're going to say he was down. Out at the plus 43-yard line. Arch Manning, whose team this likely will be next year.
The runner was down. First down.
That was an interesting play. Gunnar Helm came in motion like he was going to go across the formation. Instead, he gets under center, and the snap went between his legs to Arch Manning, who ran a power play off to the right side. The question is whether this ball came out before he was down.
Oh, it is close. Was that left elbow of Manning down before the ball came out? Lathan Ransom got the hit. Tyleek Williams recovered the loose ball. The far side official immediately started pointing to the turf to say that Manning was down, but they'll take a look at this one too. Manning, who's got 100 yards rushing, and if this stands, 8 more for a first down and 108. But Kelly, we're watching it frame by frame to see the body part. It's the forearm, right, when it gets past the wrist, because he had the backside of his left hand heading the turf.
And it's firm control of the football. When anything other than the hand or the foot is down, and the back of the hand and forearm of the left side is down, and I believe he still is in firm control of that ball, I think this is going to be possession Texas.
So the last replay did not go for Texas and ended up with a 4th and short. This replay looks like it should stand. I don't know if we'll get confirm or stand on this one.
Lathan Ransom came with the thunder onto the freshman or the sophomore quarterback and almost dislodged that ball.
All right, so they have ruled him down by contact. Quinn Ewers is back in. 49 seconds to go in the half. Texas down 7-0. They're at the plus 42-yard line with 2 of their timeouts. Snap, pressure coming from the corner, picked up, throwing to the left side. It is caught out of the 35-yard line. Silas Bolden breaks a tackle of Burke out to the 25, and he gets out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Burke couldn't bring him down, and Silas Bolden picks up 24 with 39 seconds to go in the half.
Penalties, bad decisions by Will Howard, and missed tackles once in a while. This one by Denzel Burke out in space that frees up Silas Bolden to get quite a few yards after the catch.
Bolden, the Oregon State transfer. I don't know how he stayed on his feet that time. But in the red zone is Texas. First down, a lot of misdirection. They throw the screen back. It's tipped, and it's incomplete. They'll rule it incomplete. Kenyatta Jackson that time got a hand on it on the attempted pass to the left perimeter.
And Kessie, go back to the decision by Steve Sarkisian to go for it on 4th down. Remember, his offense hasn't been doing anything. But I think that decision's made by 2 things. One, it might be our best opportunity to get points this half, but also he has to be really encouraged by the way his defense has played lately, and it gave him the confidence to go for it on 4th down in that situation.
Second down and 10, 34 seconds to go in the half, and do we have a timeout? Ohio State. Ryan Day, when running up to the far sideline official, wants to get his defense set here. The lead is only 7-0 Ohio State over Texas. 34 seconds to go in the half. Obviously, you want to score 7, but if it ends up as a field goal attempt, that's extra for us to watch for because of the field goal issues by Bert Auburn at the end of the Peach Bowl. Let's go downstairs to Quint Kesnick.
Auburn missing that 28-yard field goal against 38-yarder against Arizona State, and apparently has lost the confidence of his coaching staff because it looks like Will Stone, the left-handed kicker, the kickoff specialist, he's a junior, almost 300 kickoffs in his career. He has never attempted a field goal, but he is the apparent Texas field goal kicker right now, number 15 in white. He's a junior from Austin. 54-yard field goal he made in high school, but he has never attempted a college football field goal kick.
So, Quint, that would mean he hasn't kicked a field goal attempt in 4 years since his high school days. We'll see if they need him. 2nd down and 10, Texas at the Buckeye 18-yard line. Snap to Ewers, 4-man rush, floats one left sideline, has a man caught! Jaden Blue, touchdown Texas! 18 yards from Quinn Ewers. And the Longhorns are a point after away from tying this one up.
Beautiful design by Texas. Blue is outside, runs kind of a stutter go and goes vertical. He's matched up on Sonny Styles, and that's Quinn Ewers at his best. He has incredible touch, a feathery smooth release, and drops that right into the shirt pocket of his running back in the left corner of the end zone.
Here's Will Stone for the extra point. Placement down. The kick is right down the middle. And Texas has tied the game at 7. 29 seconds to go in the half. Kelly, you mentioned it. The Quinn Ewers need to throw to his backs. If you can't catch the ball out of the backfield, you don't play for Steve Sarkisian. Jaden Blue and Trey Wisner are 2 outstanding receiving running backs, and Blue gets his 5th touchdown catch of the year.
Yeah, it is 38 and 37 catches by those running backs coming into this game, and Jaden Blue is lined up in the backfield. He goes outside to the left. He stutters a little bit on Sonny Styles. Remember where running backs usually go out of the backfield? To the flat. And that time he stutters flat, and then he goes vertical outside. They call it a wheel route or a rail route, and he gets over the top of Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles was trying to reach out with his left hand and grab the running back. Blue knocked it down just in time for Quinn Ewers to thread one in there. That was a beautiful design by Steve Sarkisian.
Ewers' 30th touchdown pass of the year. 27 straight games with at least a touchdown pass. It's the longest for Texas since Colt McCoy, in this being the Longhorns' best season since McCoy took them to the national championship game in 2009. Will Stone will kick it off for Texas. Sends one booming high, end over end. Caleb Downs will let it go over his head for a touchback as we go downstairs to Ian Fitzsimmons.
Former Alabama head coach Nick Saban just walked up to me and said this entire game changed when Ohio State running back Travion Henderson got that unsportsmanlike conduct, punch to the face. Since then, he said Texas has had a different attitude. And then I said, what about points before the half? He looked at me, smiled, and said, that was 14 points, not 7. For people who don't know, Nick Saban, any points inside 2 minutes before the half, he always values as double.
Thank you, Fitz. And with 29 seconds to go, and Ohio State will receive the second half kick. They'll start from the 25-yard line. The first of a number of tough penalties against Ohio State was that Travion Henderson punch to the face and personal foul. First down, Howard way back, looking to pass, dumps it off to Henderson, has it at the 20, 25 from the flat, 30, 35, breaks through. Oh my goodness, he's gonna go down the right sideline. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown Ohio State. 75 yards with 13 seconds to go in the first half. They had Ohio State dead to rights, and Will Howard at the last second saw his running back Travion Henderson check down, and he just took it to the house for 75 yards.
Pete Kukowski, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, inexplicably was bringing pressure on Will Howard. A beautiful play call, kind of anticipatory play calling, and I don't know why you would anticipate a blitz right there, but a perfect call is a screen to your speed running back, and TreVeyon Henderson just came out of the doghouse in a big way.
I was going to say, right? You go from the doghouse to the penthouse as the Ohio State extra point is up and good from Jaden Fielding. And right when Texas is feeling good, they get a score in the final minute of the half. That happens. TreVeyon Henderson, 75 yards on a short throw and a touchdown, and the Buckeyes have reclaimed the lead 14-7.
And all of the things that Will Howard had to do in the face of that pressure just to get the throw off to TreVeyon Henderson because of that blitz. Remember, there essentially isn't a second layer to the defense. It's TreVeyon Henderson, a bunch of offensive linemen, and then the end zone that has Ohio State written across that, and that's exactly what happened.
And we saw Carlos Hinsman. I saw Luke Montgomery. I think Tegra Shabola, 3 offensive linemen who never gave up on the play. Stayed, got out in front and blocked and opened up that long opening for TreVeyon Henderson as Ohio State takes the lead. Remember, they're going to get the second half kick as well.
And Kesty, you and I were talking about it. If you could pick out of the 22 starters, one guy that would make a boneheaded mistake and punch someone in the face, the last guy I would pick would be TreVeyon Henderson. I don't know what the defender said, but it must have been the magic word. But the way to redeem yourself and get back in good graces is that amazing explosive screen that TreVeyon Henderson just had.
Ohio State's going to call a timeout before they kick off here. That 75-yard scoring play is the longest that Texas has given up this season. Texas had only allowed 23 points scored in the first half in the previous 7 games. And after that touchdown, they've now allowed 14. Though, if you're just joining us, the way Will Howard and Ohio State carved up the Texas defense on that first series and over the 50 on the second, it looked like they were on their way to a lot of points in the first half. And then the personal foul penalty, credit Texas turning it up on the defensive side, had it tied until Henderson ripped off that 75-yarder.
Yeah, it was starting the game with that touchdown. That was a thing of beauty. 10 plays and was immaculate execution. And then it's 4 punts in a row, mostly because you're behind the chains because of mistakes that you've made. And this time it's short time, 29 seconds. You think they're just going to run out the clock, but they dump it for an amazing screen.
Here's the kickoff left to right. This one is a little bit short and will be taken, a fair caught by Gunnar Helm, the up man, the tight end, at about the 22-yard line. And Texas has 13 seconds and a couple of timeouts here.
So, Kesty, that last sequence of events is kind of this game in a nutshell as far as from my perspective. Texas has to earn everything and grind it out in order to drive it and get points. They're not having a lot of explosive plays. Ohio State, on the other hand, can just dump it down on a screen and go 75 yards because of the nature of the weapons that they have. That's tremendous pressure on Steve Sarkisian and his team.
And one of the reasons Ohio State, after the wins over Tennessee and Oregon, felt by many to be the strongest odds to win the national championship. Handoff, Texas, speed run, Wisner breaks the 35, gets out to the 38-yard line. Grantham took him down, timeout Texas, 7 seconds to go, or they stopped the clock. Yep, and stopped it to move the chains, and it looks like Texas using a timeout as well with 7 seconds to go in the half.
Texas, their second timeout of the half.
One remaining in the half,
30
trailing
second
14-7.
I'm not exactly sure what this timeout is for. You're on the minus 38.
You get a quick pass sidelines?
Yes, you would probably have time to get a quick pass, potentially get out of bounds.
We have one timeout, too, if they want to play the middle.
Exactly, and you would have to play the middle very quickly. But Ewers doesn't have an exceptionally strong arm, so to get the ball into the end zone, you're probably going to have to get at least to probably the plus 45-yard line in order for Quinn Ewers to do that.
And that's about 20 yards away from the 38-yard line. 7 seconds to go in the half. 14-7, Ohio State leading Texas. First down and 10 horns. 7 seconds to go in the half and that one timeout. Ewers in the gun, takes the snap. Short drop, got a pass, gets it away. Sideline, flags out, incomplete. The intended receiver was Ryan Wingo, but there are flags down. Might be a defensive holding on the cornerback, Igbinosun here, and there's still 2 seconds on the clock.
Igbinosun has had a habit of doing just that, and when the receiver comes out on his break.
Defense, number 1, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wingo is going to the corner, and we could see it right down here in front of us. Igbinosun reach out and grabs the receiver, and they literally, Jim Knowles put gloves on, boxing gloves on Igbinosun in practice, so he would try to break that habit right there.
That's a good play, right? If you're playing clock here, 2 seconds. You only got 1 play left here.
That's a really good point. Because that play took a long time to develop. If you're going to get a last
Ohio
play
State
to try to get it into the end zone,
time out of the half.
You want to run
30-second
something
timeout.
quicker than that. That took way too much time to develop. If he catches the ball, clock is probably completely out in this half.
So another timeout used by Ohio State, their last. 2 seconds to go in the half. Way out of field goal range, even if it is Will Stone. The ball is at the 48-yard line. I know he doesn't have the greatest of arms. It's not to the line of scrimmage that you would prefer him be. Probably about 8 yards, 7, 8 yards away from that. You just let it fly here, or
well, and if he was standing where the ball is, he could probably get it to the end zone.
Yeah.
But you know, he's gonna be
beyond
5
the
yards
40.
deep, and then he's going to have to try to create some room to try to get this ball down the field.
And what we believe will be the last play of the first half. Texas with it. 2 seconds to go. To Ewers, looking. Pocket closing. Now he's going to load up squares. Throws a wobbler downfield toward the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. There were 2 Buckeyes there that were trying to get the interception. Ransom and Malik Hartford, they got in each other's way. Either way, that is the end of the half. And a wild play by Ohio State there on the 75-yarder by Travion Henderson to get the lead late in the half.
Texas got a drive and got 7 points they desperately needed, and the hope for Sark is our defense is up to the task. Can our offense come to life in this second half?
14-7, Ohio State leads Texas halfway through this semifinal. The winner advances to Atlanta to face Notre Dame for the College Football Playoff National Championship. Halftime in Arlington, Ohio State 14, Texas 7. Now here's Kevin Winter in the studio with the College Football Halftime Report.
All right, Mark Kester, Kelly Stoffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quinn Kestnick, Texas getting 59 of their 177 yards in that opening half on their one scoring drive, but it was the defensive breakdown, a terrific play call by Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, the screen call, Travion Henderson, 75 yards to the house. In a span of 16 seconds, we went from tied and Texas feeling great to all of a sudden Ohio State having the 14-7 lead, and the Buckeyes get the ball to start the second half. Up next to the College Football Live halftime report. Waiting in the wings in Atlanta is Notre Dame. We'll hear from their head coach, Marcus Freeman, coming up next. Halftime in Arlington. It's Ohio State 14, Texas 7. This is the College Football Playoff semifinals at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. College Football Live halftime report. Ohio State struck first. Their opening drive. They got a touchdown run from Quinshon Judkins. They don't score again to their final possession. Travion Henderson, 75-yard screen pass to the house. They lead Texas 14-7. The go-ahead score coming with 13 seconds to go. Winner tonight goes to Atlanta to face.
Snap is good. Ball's down. Kick from Jeter up, and it's good! Notre Dame takes the lead with 7 seconds left. The Irish inching closer to playing for a national championship.
Notre Dame beats Penn State last night 27-24 in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Their head coach Marcus Freeman earlier today, a guest on College Game Day with Reese Davis, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, and Nick Saban on ESPN.
What changed for your team at halftime?
Well, I think, as you said, that drive before half was huge. You know, you have your backup quarterback in, you have 2 starting O-linemen out in that series, and you know, we were able to go down the field and at least get 3 points, which made it a one-score game. And I kind of told the guys at halftime, you know, we didn't play our greatest half of football, but we're down 7 points, and we got to go out in the second half and be aggressive and be who we are. I thought we were playing a little cautious in the first half, a little almost afraid to lose, and that's not who we are. And they came out in the second half, and that first drive to go down and score, and then we go 3 and out the next drive, it really set the tone.
Yeah, Coach, your halftime speeches are starting to become legendary. You know, the last couple of weeks coming out at halftime, just absolutely pouring it on. You're a very handsome 39 years old. I would like to echo the sentiment of James Franklin, the hairline, once again, stupendous. Now, you mentioned that last drive before half there when Stephen Peanut Butter and Jelly led the team down the field. Then you talk about Tosh Baker coming in a left tackle, 6'8", What a monster of a man. Then you're supposed to be starting tackle going into the season, who got hurt in training camp. Jagusa goes and plays right guard. Aeneas Williams makes some massive plays. A lot of backups showed up for you last night. How do you feel about your roster? How do you feel about your depth? And how do you feel about your culture in the biggest moment there, Coach?
You think about now you're in the game, I think, 15 or 16, and you're going to have depth. You're going to have guys that they might not have been starting at the start of the year, that you're going to count on to make big plays in meaningful games. And that's what you saw with Steve Angeli, and you saw with Jagasaw, and you saw with Tosh Baker and those guys. Those guys got to be ready, and you don't know when your number is going to be called. But you have to earn your trust from the coaches and players in practice. And when it is called in the game, you got to go out there and produce. But you earn that trust in practice every single day.
Marcus, congratulations on a great win last night. But I think the thing that really stood out to me was the resiliency that your team showed, because there were so many opportunities in this game for your team to, throw in the towel. I mean, you had an interception called back because of a penalty. Penn State goes ahead. You come back and tie the game. You throw an interception at the end. You get an interception and win the game. The resiliency that your team showed was phenomenal. So how do you get that? I'd like to know.
Most importantly, you got to win this play. And that's a mindset that we have. What happened the last play, what happens the next play, doesn't matter. You have to win and execute on this play. And hopefully that's the game of football. That's what makes it special. You might want him to throw the ball right here, but he finds a way to get a first down with his legs. And he finds a way to make a play when it matters the most. And that's a comforting feeling, knowing that your quarterback, no matter if it's with his arm or with his legs, he's going to make a play when it matters the most. And I think he's going to have a great NFL career. I think he's a guy that his ceiling is extremely high and is not even close to where it's going to be. He's not even close to reaching it right now. He's constantly improving. He's got a ways to continue to get better. And so I look forward to what he's going to do for us in this last game and look forward to watching him in the NFL.
Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame head coach, earlier today on ESPN Television's College Game Day. The Irish 14-1. They've won 13 consecutive games, the longest in-season win streak in Notre Dame history. They're in the national title game for the first time since the 2013 Orange Bowl, following the unbeaten 2012 season. Notre Dame looking for its first national championship since 1988. They await the winner between the Buckeyes and the Longhorns in Atlanta, Georgia on January 20th. Up next to the College Football Live halftime report. What a wild 30 seconds to finish the first half and a huge momentum swing for the Buckeyes. That's next. You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinals at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Let me tell you about what it is about the logos. It's
one-sided domination for the Buckeyes for most of that first half, but they only led 7-0 till late in the half.
Second down and 10, Texas at the Buckeye 18-yard line. Snap to Ewers, four-man rush, floats one left sideline, has a man caught. Jaden Blue, touchdown Texas. 18 yards from Quinn Ewers, and the Longhorns are a point after away from tying this one up.
Extra point good, tie ball game with 29 seconds to go. But the first play for Ohio State when they got the ball back.
First down, Howard way back, looking to pass, dumps it off to Henderson, has it at the 20, 25 from the flat, 30, 35, breaks through. Oh my goodness, he's going to go down the right sideline. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown Ohio State. 75 yards with 13 seconds to go in the first half.
Second longest touchdown reception in Ohio State bowl game history. What a swing of momentum. Buckeyes lead 14-7. Nick Saban and Desmond Howard on second half adjustments.
I think we mentioned the penalties and how Ohio State actually shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
They got to eliminate those penalties. They played a pretty clean first half. I think the whole thing for Texas is, can they continue to run the ball to create positive third down situations? They're 1 for 7 on third down offensively. They got to get off the field on third down on defense by playing more man-to-man. If they can't guard these guys, they can't win, but they can't play zone and let them have first down.
Yeah.
You're looking at Texas offense only average 2.1 yards per carry. They have to stick to the run. Right now, Jim Knowles is trying to convince Sarkisian, you can't run against my defense. It's imperative that Sarkisian does not concede that point and become one-dimensional. They're going to have to run the ball, and then we always talked about this. Don't give up the explosives. They give up the huge explosive right before halftime. Outside of that, the defense has been playing very well.
16 rushes for Texas, 44 yards. They've been sacked 3 times. Meanwhile, the penalties that Coach Saban talked about, 5 for 50 for the Buckeyes. That'll do it for us on the College Football Live halftime report. Second half in Arlington is next. This is the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This 14-7, our first half check-in brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Visit allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. The head coaches, starting with Ryan Day with ESPN Tully Road.
Coach Travion Henderson, an uncharacteristic mistake with the personal foul. How did he regain some trust back on that last play call and run?
Well, he's been around for a long time, so we trust him. And you can't let his emotions get out of whack right here. We knew this was going to be a battle. We knew it was going to go into the second half, so did a nice job here of winning the end of the first half. Now we got to win the middle 8 here by coming out with a great job in the second half.
Thank you so much, Coach. Let's go to Laura with Sark. All right, thanks, Holly. Sark, back and forth momentum at the end of the first half. How do you get more offense going in the second half?
Well, the field position helped. We were backed up there a few times. We had an opportunity the first drive, didn't convert the fourth down. Got some field position, found some momentum. It's unfortunate on the screen. We've been playing really good defense in the first half. The screen hit us, but it's a lot of football left to be played.
Thanks, Sark.
Ryan Day and Steve Sarkisian with Laura Rutledge and Holly Road. We rejoin our broadcast team at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stoffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, and Quinn Keshnick. Guys?
All right, Kev, thanks a lot. And Kelly, Travion Henderson kind of killed their momentum early, but then certainly accelerated their momentum at the end of the half.
Yeah, that was obviously a massive play on the heels of Texas getting their only touchdown, but Ohio State has driven the football. They just have shot themselves in the foot. 5 penalties for 50 yards. They average only 4 for 37 yards the entire season. So if they're just more disciplined in this second half, and then also the running backs and the tight ends in the pass game for Texas has to show up in the second half.
Let's hear from our reporters. First from Ian Fitzsimmons.
Ryan Day, head coach of Ohio State, just said coming out of halftime that their star edge rusher, number 44, JT Tuimoloau, will be back here in the second half. And he also said the first 4 minutes of this second half are crucial, as any game is. Now over to Texas with Quinn.
Wide receiver Matthew Golden came out, put his helmet on, did some hopping, some sprinting, and some deceleration to test his left ankle, and it looks like he's going to give it a try. This is a young man who had a huge game against Arizona State, 149 yards and 7 receptions in that game. He's only been targeted once today, but although I went to Johns Hopkins, I'm not a doctor. I would guess that Golden will give this a shot.
All right, and they could use his deep threat ability as Texas will kick it off from right to left. This is fair caught at the 2-yard line by Caleb Downs. And so Ohio State, Kelly, will start at the 25-yard line. And Jeremiah Smith only had 1 catch for 3 yards. Emeka Ibuka, I don't know if he's nicked up as well. So some of the weaponry for Ohio State, specifically Jeremiah Smith, Texas has done a nice job, whatever side he lines up on.
Yeah, and Texas did a masterful job in coverage, and they're doing really kind of that template that Michigan showed the way in. You play 2 high safeties, you force everything to the middle, you don't let those receivers get those explosive plays. You see if Will Howard will be patient and efficient enough to get points.
Buka's fine, he's in the slot right. First down and 10, a play fake rolling to the left side. Coming across, Ibuka makes the catch from Howard and slides out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 38-yard line. Malik Muhammad was trying to cover on the cross. It goes for 13.
The play action boot, outside zone to the right. Will Howard boots to the left. G. Scott went to the flat, and Ibuka comes from the opposite side and runs a crossing route, and he was completely uncovered.
Line of scrimmage, the 38 for Ohio State. Will Howard in the gun. Travion Henderson offset to the right behind him. 2 receivers right. There's the snap, and it's a give. Henderson bounces over the 40-yard line, crunched at the 45-yard line. That will bring up second down and 2, a gain of 7. Andrew Makuba with the Texas stop.
And as much as we talked in that first half that Texas wasn't successful at running the football, neither was Ohio State. And when you see 2 high safeties, which Texas is playing a boatload of because they want to keep tops on those NFL receivers. You have to be able to run successfully into that look.
2nd down and 3 from the pistol. Snap. Give Henderson up the middle. He's got plenty of room. He's got a 1st down, and he gets over midfield to the 48-yard line of Texas. Nice run that time of 7 yards for Travion Henderson, who had the electric play at the end of the half.
And think back to that first half. Methodical drive, 10 plays to get a touchdown on their opening drive, and then they were driving it again the second time, and that uncharacteristic penalty, unsportsmanlike by Travion Henderson, really delayed the momentum until he got it back right before half on that massive screen.
1st down to the +48, a play fake and back to pass. Pressure now coming. Throws over the middle. It's intercepted. That's Gilbo, the safety, and he's down at the 30-yard line. Howard had some late pressure coming, went over the middle, and intercepted by Texas.
Benda was the linebacker that got deep underneath that route. It was a play-action pass. There was a receiver sitting out in the flat, and that was simply a bad decision by Will Howard. And it was one of those things that I think Jeremiah Smith not getting a lot of targets or touches in the first half. His quarterback wants to get him going, and that time Will Howard just simply forced the football.
And it was David Benda, 33, not number 3. Benda got the interception. That is the 10th straight game the Texas defense has forced an INT. Texas with it, passing out to the perimeter. It is caught by Wisner out of the backfield. He's got down to the left side 40-yard line. JT Tuimoloau back in the lineup with the tackle. It's a 10-yard gain and a 1st down.
And using the running backs quickly. And this is a Steve Sarkisian staple in his offense, is use running backs. 37 catches for Blue coming into today. Wisner had 38, and also Gunnar Helm at the tight end position.
From the 40, snap, little misdirection. Now a handoff Wisner, and he's trying to get some yardage. He's hit 2-3 times after gaining a yard up to the 41-yard line. Lathan Ransom took him down.
Quinn Ewers is going to have to do what Will Howard just didn't do, is be patient, because that's what Ohio State defensively forces offense to do. They're not going to give you anything. They certainly aren't going to give you much in the way of explosive plays. You have to methodically, patiently drive the football.
No Matthew Golden at receiver now. 2nd down and 9 for Texas. Man in motion to the right. Handoff bouncing out. Wisner breaks one tackle but can't get by JTT, who finally takes him down behind the sticks at the 39-yard line. A 2-yard loss. Ohio State happy to have Tuimoloau back on the field.
Tuimoloau along with Jack Sawyer, they're the defensive ends that are edge setters. And this is an outside play. The point of attack was intended to get to the edge, but it's really difficult on Ohio State defensively to do that.
3rd down and 11 for Texas. Right after the interception, trying to take advantage. Here's a pass play. Ewers will check it down. Wisner at the 41. He's contacted and can get maybe a couple more yards up to the 43-yard line, but well short of the first 4-yard pickup. Cody Simon, a little slow to get up, the linebacker for Ohio State, and the punting unit will head onto the turf.
And quintessential Ohio State defense. They rush 4, they force you into a 3rd and pass down, they play coverage, they force an underneath throw, and then they rally and make a good tackle and force a punt.
Cody Simon tried to get up and now sat down, and members of the Ohio State athletic training staff will go out to check on one of the outstanding senior linebackers for the Buckeyes, Cody Simon. With 10:48 to go in the 3rd quarter, Ohio State 14, Texas 7. The Texas defense got turnover they were looking for. Got 2 of the best defenses in all the FBS. Ohio State statistically number 1. Texas ranked 3rd in many categories. They have been able to force a ton of turnovers, but right now the offense stalling out for Texas. Ohio State, which took a hit in the first half with JT Tuimoloau going out. Now Simon gets up, walks off on his own. Little bit of a limp as Simon heads to the Ohio State sideline.
Cody Simon is a fifth-year guy. He's the leader, really, defensively, especially emotionally. He's called the heartbeat of that team. He didn't start until this year in his 5th season as a Buckeye, and all of that sweat equity is respected big time in the locker room.
Michael Kern, the Texas punter, from the 30-yard line to our right. No pressure. High spiraling kick. Brandon Innes waving fair catch, backpedals and makes the catch at the 17-yard line with 10:36 to go in the third quarter. We're just underway, second half. A spot in the national championship game at stake. It is Ohio State 14, Texas 7. You're listening to the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. 14-7, Ohio State leads Texas. We got 10:36 to go third quarter at the 89th Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio. We welcome you to Arlington, Texas, wherever you may be listening. Mark Testischer, Kelly Stauffer, Quint Kesnick down on the Texas sideline. Let's check in on the Ohio State Buckeye sideline. Here's Ian Fitzsimmons.
Mark, the moment Ohio State quarterback Will Howard threw that pick, he came straight to the sidelines, went right to his chair next to the air-conditioned bench where his wide receivers and running backs are, put his helmet underneath the chair, put his headset on to talk to his OC, Chip Kelly. When GA brings over the tablet, they had communication. He didn't talk to a single player. Nobody, not even the GA, didn't say a word to him. The moment that it became 4th down for Texas, grabbed his helmet, handed the tablet back, and when I say he got up with a purpose and a cause, this man is hell-bent. Kelly Stauffer, you've been a quarterback. You know what it's like to throw a pick. No offense, but you know exactly the attitude that young man has right now.
Yeah, whether it's a pick six or you throw a pick and your defense gets you the ball back, you can't wait to get back out there again. That was the 10th interception by Will Howard. All 10 of them, Ian, have come against zone coverages, which typically means you're trying to force something in there that's not available.
Defense picked him up. Ohio State from the 12. It's an end around. This is Ibuka. Stiff arm at the 10, right side upended and knocked down at the 12-yard line that time by Jahdae Barron. The Thorpe Award winner for best cornerback in the nation, no gain.
That's an example of Chip Kelly trying to get his own running game going. We saw different versions of the run game out of Texas trying to Steve Sarkisian trying to get things going on the ground, and you see Ohio State doing it there. 2nd and 10. Here comes a blitz. Checks it down over the middle. Caught by Kaczmarek, the tight end at the 20. 4-5 Texas defenders finally surround him at the 22-yard line and dropped him, led by Michael Taft, a name we haven't mentioned much here today. This is close to a first down. Taft, the free safety on the tackle. That's pressure management 101. You see pressure, the tight end sets over basically the football and shows his numbers to the quarterback. It's a perfect outlet and comes up just a little bit short of the line to gain, apparently. The nose of the football is just shy of the 22. So 3rd and inches for Ohio State. Crowd gets loud. Tight end on both ends. Will Howard goes under center. Will it be a QD dive? No, it's a pitch. Trying to get around the edge. Not able to get there. Quinshon Junkins had too much traffic. Colin Simmons and David Benda took him down. See where they spot the football. Looked like he lost about a yard back to the 21-yard line, and it's 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for the Buckeyes. You're 3rd and inches, and you turn around and pitch the football back 6 yards. It's a quick read by the defense because the ball's in the air. I just don't understand the play call whatsoever by Chip Kelly right there. Will Howard is an outstanding runner, a guy with size. Instead, the punter is on for Ohio State inside the 10. McGuire sends it away end over end. Silas Bolden drifting to his right, makes the catch right by the sideline inside the 35-yard line and out of bounds there. A 46-yard punt, no return. Texas down 7. They'll be on offense when we come back to Arlington. 8:30 on the clock. Third quarter. It's Ohio State 14, Texas 7. This is the College Football Playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is College Football Playoff semifinal number 2 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Time now for today's trivia question, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Marcus Freeman trying to win a national championship in his third year as the head coach at Notre Dame. In the era of the BCS or the playoff, which dates back to 1998, who was the last coach to win a national championship within their first 3 years? Mark Kestecher, give you the answer coming up. Back to you in Arlington.
Looking forward to the answer of that one as Ohio State and Texas play to meet Notre Dame on January 20th for the championship game. Texas and Ohio State playing for the fourth time in program history, and all of the first three were decided by one score. Kelly Stoffer, and we have a one-score game here as Texas takes over, trailing 14-7. Quinn Ewers and the drive for the Longhorns will start at their own 33-yard line. Two receivers stacked left, and now they blow it dead. We have a pre-snap penalty. Multiple flags are down. Haven't heard from Gregory
Full start,
Magallanes
offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Jake Majors, the outstanding center for Texas.
This really, needless to say, but I'll say it anyway, has been a really sloppy game offensively. But part of that is really good defenses make even great offenses look sloppy at times, and that's what's happening right now.
First and 15 off that Texas penalty. Shotgun snap. They pull it back. Ewers throws incomplete, short. Out to the right sideline, looking for the true freshman receiver, Ryan Wingo.
Jordan Hancock, the safety, was underneath that route. There was a safety over the top. I believe it was Ransom, and I think Ewers just got a little bit too fine with that. I think there was an opportunity to get that ball up, a layered ball, they call it, where you get it over top of that underneath coverage, and Ewers is usually really good at that.
Hancock looked like he got just a pinky on it. Here's a handoff, Weisner, and he is stuffed after he got over the 30-yard line. Ty Hamilton just stopped him in his tracks. Cody Simon, good news for Ohio State fans, linebacker back on the field, part of that stop, a 5-yard gain.
And Mark, we talked about the fact you don't win big games like this to earn a right to play in the national championship game without really good quarterback play. We're not really getting that right now. There was a high percentage of completions in the first half, but questionable decisions at time, and Ewers being too fine on that previous pass attempt.
Texas been behind the chains in the second half. 3rd and 11, heavy pressure. Down he goes, and before he went down, he was able to get rid of it to Weisner. Down the right sideline, 40, 45-yard line, and a first down out of bounds. Jack Sawyer almost had the sack, and somehow Ewers was able to get rid of it.
Jack Sawyer comes around the front side of Ewers. Ewers climbs in the pocket, hands all over him, and he gets the ball off, but was the ball out before the left knee was down? Replay booth is going to take a look at it, but I think this is going to be confirmed.
To see if the quarterback's knee was down.
Was the knee down? And as the ball's coming out in super slow-mo, you could see it go from the pinky to the ring finger to the middle to the index finger. And was it out of his hand before that knee hit? It was razor thin.
And that's the question. If it's even touching his hand at that point, when the left knee hits, it's going to be determined that Ewers was down before he got rid of it.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
It's too close to call. Couldn't get any video evidence, at least to what I saw.
Yeah, and that's the standard. Indisputable video evidence, and we're looking to see if it's touching his finger and all those things, but
whatever
at the
was
end
called
of the
on
day,
the field was going to be the call.
Heads up play by Quinn Ewers. He's not a real mobile guy. Typically he climbs in the pocket. If anything, he did that time and just was able to shovel the ball off just in time, apparently.
7:20 to go, third quarter. Down a touchdown is Texas. First down from the 47. Play fake. Ewers climbs the pocket. Ewers now in trouble. Throws to the sideline. Caught by Blue. 45-50. Nearly juked the defender and gets over the 50-yard line and is down there. Jermaine Matthews Jr. nearly got juked out, but was able to get a hand to get him down. A lot of pressure on Ewers that time.
Yeah, and just in time again. And Quinn Ewers sometimes will push the panic button a little too soon. The last couple of plays, he's hung in there really well, gotten the ball off just in the nick of time. And oh, by the way, the running backs are alive and well in the pass game to start the second half.
Second down and 5 for Texas. 1 yard over midfield. They'll send a man in motion on the left, and now they'll throw it back. It's a screen. It is caught by Moore, and good read by Caleb Downs, who takes him down. Might have got a yard out to the plus 48-yard line. Give him 2 yards. They'll mark him at about the 47-yard line.
Moore comes in what ends up being what they call return motion. He comes from the outside in this case left to right, and then he returns back outside. The remaining receiver out wide blocks, and it's just a quick screen to DeAndre Moore that time.
3rd and 3, Texas. 6 minutes to go in the third. Trailing Ohio State by 7. Here's a handoff, getting through the initial line. Weisner, and he's down to the 42-yard line. He gets the first down. Hancock the stop. 4-yard gain, move the chains.
Right now, Texas offensively is doing what's going to be asked of them. Continue to make the competitive plays.
Texas going tempo here, and it's a handoff, and Weisner's contacted in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. That was Caleb Downs that time, who came from his safety spot and got all the way down through the line and got the stop.
You want to know where number 2 is, Caleb Downs. I called him the roaming eraser, and that was a change that Jim Knowles made after that loss in Eugene, Oregon. He said, we're going to free up Caleb Downs to be kind of a freelance type of player and use his instincts, and he did that time.
2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Left hash mark from the Buckeye 44. Ewers takes the snap under some pressure, throws it high. It is caught. That is Weisner going up the left sideline, 40 toward the 35-yard line. They'll mark him out shy of the first down at the 34-yard line. Sonny Styles with the tackle. 4:50 to go in the third.
I won't be able to get this as quick as our statistician, Keith Parsons, but Keith, how many catches do running backs have in the second half? It has to be certainly more than they did in the first half, because right now that is the pass game.
They got 10 yards there, and it brings up 3rd down and about 2. Late substitution. Ohio State gets their defender off the field. 3rd down, snap, give Weisner left side, gets across the 30. He's got a first down. As Quintravian Weisner coming alive here, moving the chains again for Texas, a gain of 4.
The chains are being moved by Texas because they're winning these competitive plays. And I mean, there are muddy runs right now that Texas is eking out just the line to gain and being able to extend this drive.
4 minutes to go in the third. First down from the Buckeye 30. Snap, handoff, Weisner again over the left side, and JTT drops him at about the 26-yard line, a gain of 3 that time.
One of the ways that you mute the pressure that Quinn Ewers has been under is to have some semblance of a run game. We said that multiple times. Texas has no shot at winning this game if they don't do something in the run game part of it, and they are on this drive.
2nd down and 7, trailing 14-7. Texas inside the 30. Play fake, Ewers bouncing in the pocket. Tried to check it down, but it was knocked down, incomplete. Tyleik Williams in the middle. Got the big right paw up, and that'll bring up 3rd down for the Longhorns.
Tyleik Williams, along with his fellow defensive tackle Ty Hamilton, they don't get a lot of interior pass rush, but what they do is they get a push, and then they get in the line of sight between the quarterback and a check down receiver, as Williams did that time.
3rd down and 7. Texas has converted all 3 of their 3rd downs on the drive. From the 26 of Ohio State. Snap, Ewers, pressure coming, gets rid of it quickly. Caught at the 10-yard line. Juke at the 5-yard line. Jaden Blue into the end zone, touchdown. Texas making a living, throwing to their running backs. And the Longhorns again, a point after away from tying the game.
Steve Sarkisian also is being creative in the way he's using his pre-snap formationing. And he's freeing up running backs matched up on either safeties or linebackers. And Texas's running backs are winning right now. They have 7 catches to the running backs in this half.
Here's Will Stone, the junior, replacing Bert Auburn, and the point after is good, and we are tied at 14. They targeted those running backs 7 times.
6 catches to the running backs, including that touchdown right there.
12-play, 67-yard scoring drive. Texas has tied Ohio State. 3:12 to go, third quarter, deadlocked at 14. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You're listening to the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stauffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quint Kesnick, our entire ESPN Radio crew. Mighty Ohio State through the first 2 rounds of the CFP. Texas has tied them 14-14, 3:12 to go, third quarter. Spot in the national title game is at stake. Jaden Blue, his second touchdown reception of the evening. He now has 6 touchdown receptions on the season, tied for the lead in the FBS, and that was one of your adjustments here in the second half, and Texas certainly has delivered there.
Yeah, Texas has actually completed 8 balls to running backs for just short of 100 yards, and you talked about the 2 touchdowns. That time it was kind of a zone blitz, but the safeties were deep, and they were really in the end in man-to-man coverage, and Ransom comes up from his safety position trying to tackle Blue out in space and just couldn't get him to the ground.
Emeka Egbuka is waiting deep for Ohio State on the kickoff from Texas as they've tied the game. Ohio State's defense, by the way, Kelly, had only allowed 4 touchdowns outside the red zone before allowing that one.
And I might be mistaken, but I think that's the first time that Texas has scored in the third quarter in like the last 6 games.
That's a good point. They have really struggled for whatever reason coming out of halftime.
Scored a touchdown, that is.
Here's the kickoff from Texas. Egbuka is going to signal fair catch, makes it at the 1. Ball advances to the 25-yard line, and now it gets real interesting here. Remember the last time Texas tied it, Kelly, we had the 75-yard touchdown, and you know Texas didn't really get a chance to set in defensively. They got beat so badly on that play, and here they are late in the third quarter. Ohio State will take over from the 25.
Yeah, and brother, we have a game, because remember that it was Texas needing to withstand that first quarter barrage that we've seen out of Ohio State in the playoff, and they were able to do that even though Ohio State was their own worst enemy offensively. And then you're starting to see this new game plan adjustment emerge, which is Steve Sarkisian, Quinn Ewers throwing to the running backs, and that's their best matchup. Running backs outside on linebackers or safeties coming from deep, as opposed to trying to get the football all the time to Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, and Cornell Tate, and I'm not so sure Jeremiah Smith is right now, because he doesn't seem to be factored into the game plan much in the first half, let alone the start of this half.
Get more on the Texas Longhorns. Downstairs to Quint Kesnick.
It was an emphatic reaction to that last touchdown. Steve Sarkisian pumping his fist, actually pointing to the crowd and as if to say, let's go. You know, Texas playing in the state of Texas, in Dallas, 200 miles from campus. The majority of fans here, 70% or so, are wearing that burnt orange. But it has not felt like a home game. I think from here on out, he would like it. He would like the Cotton Bowl to feel like a home game.
Well, Texas is no stranger to playing in the Cotton Bowl. This is their 23rd. It's a record 23rd Cotton Bowl. They have the most wins ever in the Cotton Bowl, 11, but they haven't played in the Cotton Bowl since 2003, and this year's Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic is a CFP semi, where 1 year ago, Kelly, we were in the Superdome down in New Orleans. Texas making its first CFP appearance, and they had 4 cracks at it late against Washington. Couldn't get it done. Fast forward a year and a couple days, and they are tied with Ohio State. Still plenty of time to go. 3:12 to go in the third quarter. Notre Dame is waiting and watching, and we hope listening.
Well, and we talked about these championship prize fights, which really this is. It's about answering. If you get punched, you have to punch back, and Texas has withstood what Tennessee and Oregon in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs could not do. And it was, both of them were rent out of the building, respectively. And Texas now is in uncharted territory with this Ohio State team here in the third quarter.
Steve Sarkisian, who was a Cotton Bowl hero back in 1996 for BYU, is waving his hands on the sideline and trying to get the Texas fans engaged, and they are, as Ohio State begins this drive at their 25-yard line. 3:12 to go, third quarter. We are tied at 14. Will Howard takes a shotgun snap, throws it over the middle. Tate's got it, 35-yard line. Grab, turns his back, gets to the 40, and that's as far as he'll get as they blow the whistle, and then a flag late. A Texas player ended up on the deck, and a flag came in. Jahdae Barron with the tackle.
Austin Serafeld, the left guard, is trying to peel people off the pile, and that's a no-no at this point in time, and he's going to get flagged for a late hit.
Ryan Day has his arms extended as if to say, what's the
After
call
the play,
here?
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 67. The down counts. It was a first down, 15-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10.
That is Austin Serafeld. You saw it clearly, and another big penalty offsetting an Ohio State drive here in the biggest game of the season.
Well, the good news is it remains a first down, but you essentially lose the yardage, and once again, Ohio State backs themselves up.
Line of scrimmage is the 25-yard line. Pistol formation. Howard walks up to the line. Might be changing the protections, changing the play. Henderson behind him is the back. There's the short snap and a play fake. Howard under pressure, hit, and down he goes! Sacked by Vernon Broughton, who waves to the crowd, shooting a fake arrow through the quiver, and Ohio State backed up to the 15-yard line, a loss of 10.
Texas is making hay with only rushing, in a sense, 4, covering with 7, creating a lot of structure on the back end, just kind of baiting Will Howard to be impatient, and at the end of the day, Broughton gets home with that big right hand right as Will Howard was ready to deliver the football.
Deafening loud here inside of AT&T Stadium. 2nd and 20 for Ohio State. Will Howard circling his hand. He wants the snap. He gets it. Delayed handoff. Henderson up the middle, bulls his way forward, and is down just shy of the 20-yard line that time. Andrew Makuba got the stop as he picked up 5. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now for the Buckeyes.
Well, Quint was just talking about Steve Sarkisian was trying to get this crowd revved up, and right now, Quint, it sounds like this is a home field advantage for Texas. Will Howard is having a difficult time communicating with his center.
Feels like we're in Austin, aren't we? Except there's a roof on it, making it even louder. Tied at 14, minute 23 to go, third quarter, 3rd down and 15, Ohio State. Play clock is under 5. Howard says, I need the snap, gets it. Howard has protection, trying to check it down, knocked down! The freshman Colin Simmons on a pass intended for the flat, knocked down, and it's 4th down.
Colin Simmons has been a consistent pressure guy for this Texas defense. That time he was blocked really well by Donovan Jackson out on the left edge, but therefore his 6'3" frame, long wingspan, is in the throwing lane of Will Howard.
Joe McGuire is on to punt. His heels are on the 5-yard line. Here comes the kick. Sends it high in the air, end over end. Silas Bolden signals fair catch beyond the 40 and makes that catch at about the 39-yard line. And Texas going to get it back with 1:03 to go in the third quarter. A 41-yard punt. No return. I don't know if momentum has switched, but certainly the crowd feels like it has switched that momentum to Texas with a chance to look for its first lead of this semifinal.
I don't think there's any question. Right now, Texas has the momentum. And one thing that Steve Sarkisian said coming out at half is, you know, we played with bad field position in the first half, so it really regulated how he could call plays. Well, they just scored on a really good drive the previous drive, and now they have good field position to start this one.
From the 39, no Denzel Burke, Ohio State corner still out. They're going to hand it off on first down. It's a cutback to the right side, Wisner, and he's chopped down at the 45-yard line. The running backs of Texas carrying this team in the third quarter. They have 6 receptions, and that time a 7-yard run for Trey Wisner.
And it's the outside zone that we've talked about that is the table setter for this Texas offense, and it was the cutback that time.
Second down and 3. Snap to Ewers. Looking left, nothing. Middle, nothing. Runs right, throws to the sideline. Caught at the 40. Still on his feet after contact, Wisner, and he's able to get a couple yards inbounds. Tackled at the 44-yard line with 26 seconds to go in the third quarter. Loss of 2.
Really good job of Ohio State taking away the first look that Quinn Ewers wanted, which was on the left side. So he had to go back to the right side, and by that time, the pressure was getting to him, and he found Wisner as the outlet in the right flat just in time.
Texas outscored Ohio State 7-0 in the third quarter. They'll have a big 3rd and 6 when we start the fourth quarter. We are through 3 in Arlington. It's anybody's game. Ohio State and Texas tied at 14 for a spot in the championship. We head to the fourth next. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Not bowl season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. The last coach in the BCS/playoff era, which dates back to 1998, to win a natty within his first 3 years as a head coach. Pete Carroll, 2003. Marcus Freeman tried to do it with Notre Dame. Still waiting for an opponent. We go to the fourth, tied up at 14. Mark Chestershire, back to you.
Kevin, I know we're in Texas, but Ian Fitzsimmons, it is a very pro-Texas crowd here tonight.
Yeah, but it's not just because it's here in Arlington, Texas at Jerry World, Kesty. It's also because of the winter storm that came through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. A lot of Ohio State fans, their flights were canceled, so what they have to do? Sell their tickets. Therefore, who bought them? Texas Longhorn fans, and you're hearing it right now.
Indeed, and this is a big play here to start this fourth quarter. Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stauffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quint Kesnick with you. 14-14 as we open the fourth quarter. 3rd and 6 Texas from their own 43. Snap to Ewers, going left to right, throws sideline too high, incomplete. Matthew Golden back in the ball game. They targeted him quickly, but couldn't come up with that high throw. Covered by Davison Igbinosun. It's 4th down.
Igbinosun had decent coverage, but there is an opportunity to get this ball in. Golden was the outside receiver. He starts inside, and they kind of have a switch release with Moore, and then Golden goes back outside. Kesty, there was a lane there to get the ball and extend that drive, but Ewers airmailed it.
We wonder if that ankle kept him from getting better lift as Texas punts it away left to right. Brandon Innes waiting, and Fair catches it at the 12-yard line. We're just 13 seconds into this fourth quarter. Texas and Ohio State tied at 14. We already know Notre Dame is into the college football playoff national championship game presented by AT&T in Atlanta in 10 days, January 20th. You'll hear it here on ESPN Radio beginning at 6:30 Eastern time. See it on ESPN television. Notre Dame, a late field goal to win their 13th in a row, beat Penn State 27-24 at the Capital One Orange Bowl last night. That was a classic fourth quarter last night, 31 combined points. So what do we have in store here? Ohio State begins this drive at their 12-yard line. Travion Henderson in the backfield. Emeka Ibuka motions to the right. Will Howard waiting in the gun. Takes the snap. It's a play fake. He sprints back toward the goal line. Loads up, throwing right sideline, looking for Ibuka. Might have got tripped. Flags out. He went down. We got a pass interference call on Malik Muhammad that time as Ibuka was sprinting down the right sideline.
Defense, number 5, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A double move outside by Ibuka, clear on the right side on the sideline, and I think Malik Muhammad kind of panicked a little bit. Ibuka acted like he was going outside, and then Muhammad grabs him a little bit. I don't think it was egregious, but the flag came out from the official immediately.
15-yard penalty up to the 27-yard line. First down and 10, Ohio State. Handoff, play fake, quick pass out to G. Scott, tight end. Hit as he's coming across the formation and knocked down at the 25-yard line for a loss of 2. Jalen Gilbo that time, the safety with the tackle.
Brandon Innes was the wide receiver out to that side, and he has to get his block. He's a slot receiver, and then G. Scott releases from his tight end position as is behind the line of scrimmage, so Innes can engage immediately, and he just completely whiffs on his block.
2nd and 12, Ohio State 14 all. Texas showing pressure from the corner. There's the snap. Muhammad does not come in from the corner. Pass, diving. Scott made the catch, but had to go down to a knee. He was untouched, but his knee is down, and so he's down at the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 4, and it's third down.
Texas will draw up some exotic stuff in sure pass downs. Second and long fits that bill. Will Howard didn't look comfortable. You talked about the pressure that you thought might come. It didn't come. It was only 4-man rush. But Will Howard looked a little uncomfortable in the pocket because of the previous pressure in the first 3 quarters of this game.
Fresh pass rushers in for Texas. Ohio State 5 for 13 on third down. This is 3rd and 8. From the 29-yard line, Howard in the gun, takes the snap. Here comes the blitz. Back to pass, throwing on the cross, caught by Tate, 45-yard line, dragged down at the 48-yard line, and that'll move the chains on 3rd and 8.
Fantastic throw by Will Howard. It was an all-out blitz, man-to-man on the back end, single high safety in the middle, and Cornell Tate was running a corner route outside, and it took time to develop. So Will Howard kind of gave up ground to avoid the pressure long enough to get off that feathered throw to Tate.
18-yard connection on 3rd and 8. New set of downs, first down, nearing midfield. Snap Howard, play fake, sprints back, gets some good blocks. Throws downfield, looking for Smith in double coverage, incomplete. That was Ibuka, the intended receiver. Jahdae Barron was there, and Andrew Makuba, the safety, was coming over as well. These are all passes that felt like Ohio State caught every single one of them the first 2 weeks of the college football playoff. There is a Texas player down, Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle, right now for the Longhorns.
That was somewhat of a throwback that time, as Ibuka ends up going up for a high throw, but a missed opportunity nonetheless.
Timeout here in Arlington, 12:26 to go. We're in the 4th quarter. Spot in the title game on the line in Atlanta. Ohio State and Texas tied at 14. You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You're listening to the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
14-14, Ohio State and Texas, 12:26 to go, 4th quarter. Kelly Stauffer, Mark Kestisher, Quint Kesnick is covering Texas. Ian Fitzsimmons is with Ohio State, and Fitzy, Will Howard's 20 of 28, but only one of those catches by the outstanding Jeremiah Smith tonight.
Who may be the best player still alive in the college football playoff. And look, we talked about this going into halftime and watching him through an entire quarter. He doesn't look right, guys, and he got rocked early in the first quarter, and his back fell on a Texas defender. And Kelly Stauffer, you played quarterback for a long time. He just doesn't look as fluid to me as he always has. We've had him 3 times this year. I think that back is acting up.
I've been watching him because I'm wondering what the coverage is on him, and he doesn't look like he's running smooth, fluid routes that we would be used to.
2nd and 10 out of the timeout. They're going to swing it out Ohio State to Junkins, who gets a block at the 50-yard line and right near the line to gain, right sideline inside the 45. That'll move the chains to the 42-yard line, 11 yards right out of the timeout.
And Ian, if Jeremiah Smith was right, I think Chip Kelly, the play caller, learned his lesson against Michigan. You don't let defenses take your best player away. You find guaranteed touches for the guy that can impact this game, and Chip Kelly's not even doing that with number 4 currently.
11:50, clock moving in regulation. 14-14, 1st and 10 Buckeyes at the 42-yard line of Texas. Judkins in the backfield off the left hip. It'll be a play fake and a throw on the cross, incomplete to a fastball that Tate couldn't come up with. It was Malik Muhammad trying to stay with him, incomplete, 2nd down.
That was a run-pass option. Tate's running the slant part of it, what they call in slant. It's an inside zone run, slant, RPO. You're isolating one defender to open up that slant, and Will Howard throws it, but Muhammad covered it really well.
2nd and 10, snap Howard, plants, checks it down, Junkins 40, Junkins 35, and he's tackled there just short at the 36-yard line. Colin Simmons, the linebacker, all over him after the gain of 6. It'll
Mark,
make third
remember
manageable.
what we talked about, Will Howard needing to be patient. There's a good example of it. Check it down, get in third and manageable. I think that was a bad decision that time by Quinshon Judkins. He needed to plant his foot and get upfield, and then you're probably third and very short, and maybe even he converts.
Third down and 4 from the Texas 36 for the Buckeyes. Henderson now in the backfield. Howard, do we have movement on the right side of the line? We did. Flags are down. That might take 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9.
False start, offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Josh Fryer, really tough penalty there on 3rd down.
Outside of him was G. Scott. G. Scott very frustrated with the penalty on Josh Fryer, and Boughton was over top of him trying to get a good pass rush, and just the threat of that caused that right tackle to flinch that time.
Ball spotted back to the 41 of Texas for Ohio State. Now it's 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Howard takes the shotgun snap. 4-man rush. Howard throws on the cross. Scott's got it at the 40. Scott trying to get to the 35. Bounces off one defender. Tries to get by a second defender and lurches forward to the 35-yard line. Short of the first down. Barron and Holmes that time had him bracketed in a gain of 7.
Well, Ryan Day has the decision right here on 3rd and about 1.5 yards, and you're in that what they call the no man's land, where it would be a moon shot to try a field goal attempt, and a punt basically gauge you no field position whatsoever.
Yeah, Fielding's long is 47 in his career. The line of scrimmage, the 34, and Ohio State going for it. 4th down and 2. Got to get to the 32-yard line. Henderson in the backfield. And now a timeout called by Texas. Well, they didn't like their alignment there, but a big play in the game. Tied at 14 with 9:50 to go in the 4th quarter. And we'll have a little drama building because we have a timeout here in Arlington to think about it. Ohio State and Texas tied at 14. Buckeyes at the 34 of the Longhorns, and a 4th and 2 after the timeout. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You're listening to the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
13-14, Ohio State and Texas. 9:50 to go. 4th quarter in our college football playoff semifinal. Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stauffer, Ian Fitzsimmons on the Ohio State sideline. Texas just called timeout. Quint Kesnick as they're trying to defend this 4th and 2.
Yeah, 4th and 2. I think they were surprised. They actually had to put their nickel personnel into the game, but there was no call. And so the secondary members were looking around each other with confusion. Anthony Hill wears the helmet communicator. That's 0 for Texas. He's a linebacker. But coach had to use the timeout to get organized prior to this critical down.
Appreciate that cue. And if thinking about Jaden Fielding, they're probably about 5 yards away from what they would consider comfortable field goal range. His season high 46, his career long 47. Right now it will be probably a 51-yarder, so they're going to go for it on 4th and 2 at the Texas 34-yard line. 9:50 to go in the 4th quarter, tied at 14. 3 receivers to the right, Howard in the gun, Henderson offset to the right. There's the snap. Howard's going to run it. Quarterback design. He's got the first and more. 25 and stumbles down into the red zone. Draw play for Will Howard, and he gets the first down and more.
It was a quarterback power play where you're actually getting guys out in front of them. You have trips to the right side, and that's where all of the defensive eyes are. And then you get offensive linemen immediately up on the defensive front, a hat on a hat, and then Will Howard was taking this to the house until the turf monster reached up and grabbed his right foot.
18-yard run for number 18, Will Howard. First down and 10 at the Texas 16-yard line. Low snap, and he gives it on the end around to Ibuka, who's inside the 10-yard line. Just a little inside flip, and Ibuka is tackled at the 8-yard line for 8 yards.
We talked about this earlier in the day. Will Howard really hasn't been ran a lot, and certainly not consistently this entire year, and it was as if Ryan Day and Chip Kelly were just making sure that he was healthy for this stretch. Well, guess what? It is this stretch. And so Will Howard needs to be a viable carrier of the football going forward.
An elongated drive for Ohio State. They got it down to the Texas 8-yard line. Second down, Smith in motion. Handoff, Judkins gets around the left side 5 and inside to the 2-yard line before he's tackled by Jahdae Barron that time as we come up on 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter and a gain of 6.
Bennett Christian, the tight end, sliced from right to left and was able to get his guy on the ground, and then it was the good vision where the running back was able to bounce it into a different hole and get positive yards that time.
First down and goal for Ohio State at the 2-yard line. We are tied at 14, under 8 minutes to go in this semifinal. Howard in the gun, takes the snap, he's going to run this one, has a blocker, tries to get to the goal line, lifted up, then dropped short of the goal line as the far linesman runs in. At about the half-yard line, a gain of 1 by Howard. Michael Taft saved the touchdown.
And once again, the power run, Luke Montgomery, the left guard, wraps around. It's called G-wrap, literally. Wraps around, and then Hugh Judkins leads the quarterback. You have two guys out in front of a 235-pound quarterback.
Patrick Gurd, a fullback, is in. Henderson's the tailback. Howard under center. Second and goal from the 1. Handoff Henderson. Bulls to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. Quinshon Judkins with the touchdown. Judkins got the call. It's his second touchdown run of the evening, and it has given Ohio State the lead.
And that was old school football. That's a fullback in front of a very physical running back in Quinshon Judkins. And I had referenced this earlier that Chip Kelly says that Judkins is more of the hit you in the face power back as opposed to Henderson's a vision speed guy more so, and that was power right there by Hugh Judkins.
A 13-play, 88-yard drive that started at the 12-yard line. Jaden Fielding is on for the extra point. 7:02 to go. Snap, placement, kick, splits the uprights. And Ohio State has the lead once more, 21-14 over Texas on the best looking offensive drive of this half, and really led by two big runs by Will Howard. The biggest was a 3rd and 8 that he got 18 yards
And
on.
we're going to see more of Will Howard in the run game going forward, especially in situational runs like we did on that drive. And what this offensive day could have been for Ohio State. They start with that really good drive to begin the game, 10 yards or 10 plays, and end up getting in the end zone. The next one, they were driving as well. We keep going back. That was a massive momentum switch when Travion Henderson had that uncharacteristic, unsportsmanlike, and it aborted, led to the demise of that second drive that was already in plus territory. And then it was the big play by Henderson to get out of the doghouse. And then this drive was a thing of beauty. 13 yards, almost 8 minutes and almost 90 yards. That's Ohio State offensively.
Fielding's kickoff, another boomer end over end that's going to sail into the end zone for a touchback. Texas will take over down 7, and we go downstairs behind that Longhorn sideline. Here's Quinn Kesnick.
Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian, the play caller, gazing at his laminated play card in his left hand, looking down at it as if to say, what have I learned? What am I saving? What am I setting up? Let's see what he can dial up here.
Good news, Q, is Matthew Golden still out there. He's going to line up on the left hash marks, and they'll bring two tight ends in that'll motion to the right side. Quinn Ewers, 1st and 10. From the 25, Texas down a touchdown again. Throws, tip ball. It is caught. Gunnar Helm out on the right sideline across the 30, and they'll mark him out at the 33-yard line on the first play from scrimmage, a 9-yard gain.
With the wide receiver room being a triage unit, you need to get the ball to tight ends and running backs, and that's really the first time we've heard much of Gunnar Helm.
Second down, they're going to stretch it out to the left side. Jaden Blue beats one tackle, has the first down and over the 40-yard line before he's finally dropped on the numbers on the left side by Jordan Hancock. 6.5 minutes to go, down 7. New set of downs for the Horns.
Quint talked about what Steve Sarkisian has learned up to this point in the game. Well, what he's learned is that my best matchups, especially in the pass game, are my tight ends and my running backs on linebackers.
Got a tight end on each side. Pistol snap. Ewers fakes. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to throw it over the right shoulder of Helm, who makes the catch 40 to the 30-yard line. Knocks off the defender, Caleb Downs, and gets out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And there are penalty markers down.
That was a very similar play that was the game winner in the second overtime against Arizona State. You get Gunnar Helm.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct,
It's on Helm.
offense number 85, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty,
catch.
first and 10, Texas.
But he commits the penalty. The Texas fans not happy.
And Gunnar Helm, remember, if we think back to that game winner against Arizona State, he comes across the formation from right to left and then goes down the seam between the inside of the numbers and the hash, and it's a fake pitch, and then Ewers just kind of feathers that ball in, and I don't agree that that was a penalty on the tight end.
From the 40-yard line of Ohio State, Ewers going for it, going up. Golden makes the catch, lands at the 15-yard line. They've been waiting for Matthew Golden, who's been nicked up tonight. Comes up with his biggest catch of the evening with 5:40 to go.
Well, two receivers flanked off to the right side, and Golden goes to the corner, and it was dropped coverage. Downs was underneath and a safety over the top.
Here's a handoff, Jaden Blue up across toward the 10-yard line before he's finally stacked up just shy of the 10 to the 11. JT Tuimoloau, a 27-yard reception by Matthew Golden, and that run play has Texas now at the 11.
We talked about how hard offensive football is if you don't have explosive plays. Where was Texas going to get them? Well, they're getting them with throwing to their running backs and throwing to Gunnar Helm that we haven't heard a lot of today until this drive.
Second down and 8 for the Horns. At the 11-yard line of Ohio State, down a touchdown. Snap, Ewers going to throw to the right sideline. It's caught by Wisner, and he's out of bounds. Inside the 10, the right side linesman will mark him down at the 6-yard line. Igbenogson in coverage, and a gain of 5.
You can feel the rhythm that Quinn Ewers in this Texas offense is in. When the ball comes out quickly, it's almost always a good thing. That was a two-man route. You had a tight end, Helm, going to the corner, and then a running back was going to the flat. Get the ball out quickly and take a profit out on the flat to Wisner.
Third down and 3. They can get a first down at the 3. They're at the 6. Right hash mark, 4:13 to go. Down a touchdown. They motion a tight end Davis. There's the snap to Ewers. Backside pressure. Throws back of the end zone. Incomplete, flags out. There was double coverage in the back of the end zone on a ball intended for Ryan Wingo. Got contacted. And this should be an automatic first down.
Sonny
Pass
Styles.
interference, defense, number 8. Ball spotted at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
First of all, the ball should have never have been thrown, but if the ball wasn't thrown, it wouldn't have been pass interference. Sonny Styles and Latham Ransom were doubling the intended receiver that time. The receiver was falling down after his break, but it was because the left hand of Ransom was on the back of the receiver and helped him get pushed to the ground.
First and goal from the 2. Texas looking to tie the game. Wisner in the backfield. Snap to Ewers. Read option. Keep. Throws end zone. Incomplete. Flags out. The intended receiver was Matthew Golden, and Jermaine Matthews, who's filling in for Denzel Burke, committed the pass interference. Win on Jerry Magalanis, our
Pass
official.
interference, defense, number 24. Half the distance to the goal penalty. Automatic first down.
They'll take it from the 2 to the 1-yard line. First and goal again.
It's not a bad penalty, quite frankly. It only cost you a yard, and the hard move inside by Golden on the slant off the play action. I don't think it was a run pass option. I think it was flat out play action. Show the run, bring the defender underneath, up a step, and then get the slant to Golden in behind him. Matthew was beat, but he grabs the receiver. Gets called for DPI.
4 minutes to go in the game. Jarrett Gibson is in. He'll get the call from the 1, and he's not going to get there. JT Tuimoloau that time filled the hole and took him down. Second and goal from the 1.
You would think that Texas is going to have to throw the ball here to get it into the end zone. even though the field obviously is greatly condensed as you get into the low red zone, which the 1 yard line certainly classifies as that, Ohio State is very difficult to run the football against, especially up the middle.
3.5 minutes to go. 2nd and goal from the 1. Wisner now in the backfield. Ewers in the pistol formation. Takes the snap. Pitch to Wisner. Trying to stretch it out. He's hit behind the chains and taken down at the 7-yard line. Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs chased him down.
Caleb Downs, Mark, was the key. Remember, he can roam, and so he's basically just sniffing out the play because of film study and instincts and athleticism. And Caleb Downs in that quick pitch, I told you it's a quick read by the defense when the ball is shown in the air on that pitch. I don't really like the play anymore because of the speed that defenses have, and Caleb Downs sniffs it out, runs, bubbles the play, and then it's swallowed up outside.
Lost the 6, 3rd and goal from the 7. That changes the play call here. Here's Ewers to pass. Ewers going left corner end zone, held in the back, and incomplete, trying to find Ryan Wingo. I didn't see any flags fly out. Jack Sawyer with the pressure that time, and it's 4th down. I thought I saw a grab back there, but no flag down.
It seems as if Steve Sarkisian is going to go for it. Wingo was starting on the slant and then going back out to the corner. Igbinosa had pretty good coverage, but you're right, Igbinosa has a habit of grabbing people, and it looked like he did right there.
2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. 4th and goal, rather. Here's Ewers, snap, hit by Sawyer, ball's loose. Sawyer comes up with it, running down the right sideline, 40 to the 50-yard line. Sawyer to the 30, Jack Sawyer to the 20, to the 10, to the end zone, touchdown! Jack Sawyer, the defensive end, coming up with the biggest play in Arlington, Texas, that could have Ohio State headed to Atlanta.
Quinn Ewers gets moved off his spot. He tries to shift a little bit to the left side. All the while, Jack Sawyer is free. He started on the right edge of the offense and runs the rail, was able to chase the quarterback down, and just as the ball went up, Sawyer arrives and knocks it loose from Quinn Ewers.
Jack Sawyer and Quinn Ewers were roommates freshman year at Ohio State. Jack Sawyer just knocked one away from his former roommate and may have clinched Ohio State a spot in the championship game, up 2 scores with 2:13 to go. Extra point from Fielding. Drills it through. 2:13 left. Ohio State 28, Texas 14. Jack Sawyer's 3rd fumble return of the season, his 2nd touchdown on a fumble return, and that one goes 83 yards as Ohio State leads by 2 scores with 2:13 left. It's the Buckeyes 28 and the Longhorns 14. This is the college football playoff semifinal at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From 1st and goal at the 1, down 7 to 83 yards in the other direction, and now down 14. That's what just happened to Texas. 2:13 to go in the 4th quarter. Back to Arlington where the Buckeyes lead by 14. Mark Testishire, back to you.
And Kev, I'm not sure if there's a bigger, truer Buckeye than Jack Sawyer, who grew up in Pickerington, Ohio, now a senior, and an 83-yard scoop and score to put Ohio State up 2 scores, 2:13 away from Atlanta, and a trip to the championship game. Mark Kestisher, Kelly Stauffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quint Kesnick with you here in Arlington, Texas. And now, Kelly Stauffer, Texas is going to need some quick scores as they are down 14 points. Had it, as Kevin said, at the 1-yard line after those 2 penalties, had 1st and goal at the 1. The 83-yard fumble return for touchdown, the longest in Cotton Bowl history. For Jack Sawyer was his 2nd touchdown this season on a fumble return. Ohio State's going to kick it off, right to left. Fielding has done nothing but boom it into the back of the end zone. That clears the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. 2:13 to go, Kelly, so they got the 2-minute timeout. They've got 2 timeouts, but got to have a score here, and an onside kick put themselves in a real bad position.
Texas offensively has turned the ball over in record numbers this year, 24 coming into this game, and the only saving grace is the defense took the ball away in even better numbers than that. 3rd in the country, 2nd in the country actually taking the ball away, which was the saving grace, but what an inopportune time to turn it over there.
From the 25, Quinn Ewers has nothing. Now he's going to throw sideline, caught and immediately hit. That time was Jaden Blue. It was Davison Igbinosun who read that slow pass coming and knocked him down, as that'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout after a 6-yard reception. 2nd and 4 after the 2-minute timeout for Texas, trailing Ohio State 28-14. And if the Buckeyes can hang on, trying to get back to their first college football playoff national championships game since the 2020 season when they lost to Alabama, and trying to win their first national championship since 2015. That was the close of the 2014 season when Ohio State beat Oregon right here in this stadium in Arlington, Texas, in the very first college football playoff. That's part of the story of the expansion of the playoffs that went from the BCS game to a 14 playoff in that 2014 season. Ohio State was the 4 seed of those 4 teams, so they snuck in and then won the championship. And now in this first year of the 12-team playoff, Ohio State lost to Michigan. They didn't qualify for the Big Ten championship game, and here they are as an at-large that ran roughshod over both Tennessee and Oregon. And their defense, Kelly, which has been so superlative all season long, comes up the biggest play of the night, courtesy of Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, Kesty, in a night when the offense, quite frankly, didn't really resemble what we saw in the first 2 playoff games, when they were almost really unstoppable, and Will Howard played almost perfect football from the quarterback position. And I thought he was shaky at times today. He had throws that were errant. He threw into coverage and got picked off. But that's the beauty of the game of football. Your defense can still save the day, and Ohio State's defense really has played incredibly well except for one game, and that was the first game against Oregon in Eugene. And that's when the changes came by Jim Knoll to change things up, be more aggressive, use our safeties, roam Caleb Downs around. And so the offense was undisciplined today. Bad mistakes, bad decision by a quarterback, penalties that really muted multiple drives.
Less than 100% Jeremiah Smith, we believe.
Jeremiah Smith, I think there's something going on potentially physically with him, watching him run routes. And so the bad news for Notre Dame is that I think this is another somewhat of a second chance do-over for Ohio State. We didn't play our best, but we still make it through. Next week, in 10 days, we keep our nose clean and see what happens.
See if Ohio State can get through these final 2 minutes, a 2-score lead. Notre Dame punching a ticket into the national championship game for the first time in a dozen years. The Fighting Irish have not won a national championship since 1988. And over their long histories, Notre Dame won 9 out of 12 against Texas. Ohio State has won 6 out of 8 overall against Notre Dame, including the last 6 times they've met. They had a classic last year, a couple years ago. 2nd down and 4 out of the 2-minute timeout. Texas down 2 scores. Line of scrimmage, the 31-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Quinn Ewers will take a shotgun snap. Only 3-man rush. They drop 8. Ewers rolling to his right, looking, throwing sideline through the hands of Jaden Blue, and incomplete. It's 3rd down with 1:53 to go.
And what worked for Texas to get back in this game, using their running backs and their tight ends in the pass game, that's if you want to methodically drive the ball and get a couple of explosives here and there after the catch. But it's not conducive to this part of the game where you don't have those wide receivers to stretch the field vertically.
3rd and 4, snap to Ewers. from the pocket, throws on a cross, and it is picked off. Caleb Downs at the 40-yard line. The Buckeyes defense, the best in the land, coming up with 2 big plays in the final 2 minutes. And Ohio State is going to contest for a national championship.
Caleb Downs' eyes do not lie to him. He was playing in the middle of the field, watching the quarterback, breaks on the football, and the football hits him right in the middle of the number 2, just because he knows exactly where to be.
There were 2 receivers in the area, kind of bumped into one another. One fell down, and Caleb Downs, the Alabama transfer, with his 2nd interception of the year. He didn't get Best Defensive Back award. He was a finalist for the Thorpe Award. That went to Jahdae Barron of Texas. But Ohio State going to get the last word as Howard hands it off. Judkins, who has 2 touchdowns, gets through the middle to the 35-yard line and close to the 30-yard line of Texas. With 90 seconds to go, a 9-yard run. Ohio State 28, Texas 14. Mark the ball at the 32-yard line. Texas, 2 timeouts. It looks like they're just going to let it roll out here, down 2 scores. The clock rolls with 1:10 to go. Couldn't have got much lower when they fell at home to Michigan. Ryan Day heard a lot of the critics chirping as they lost their 4th straight to the Wolverines, and this was an off year in Michigan as Howard tries to plow forward here and takes a pile out for a first down to the 30-yard line. Well, it's been nothing but success since. They took out Tennessee at home 42-17. They went to the Rose Bowl, beat Oregon 41-21, and on a night their offense wasn't on point, the defense came up with the biggest plays of the night, and they're going to propel Ryan Day and Ohio State to the national championship game.
The beauty of complementary football, Ryan Day talks about that. Offense, defense, special teams. And that's exactly what we saw tonight.
Sorry, Kelly. Will Howard takes a knee, and the final 10 seconds are going to roll off the clock. The Scarlet and Gray run out to the middle of the field here at AT&T Stadium celebrating as Ohio State is going to face Notre Dame in the College Football Playoff National Championship. The Buckeyes take out Texas 28-14. And Will Howard finally has his win over Texas. In his 4 years at Kansas State, the Wildcats lost all 4 times. He was 0-3 as the starting quarterback, and in his 1 season with Ohio State, he has led the Buckeyes to the national championship game for the first time since 2020, looking for their 7th national championship. This will be their 3rd trip to the College Football Playoff National Championship, and they'll take on a Notre Dame team that played a great game against Ohio State just a year ago. You'll recall Ohio State on a last-second touchdown won in South Bend 17-14, and this one will take place in Atlanta 10 days from now. The College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T. ESPN radio coverage at 6:30 Eastern Time. Kelly, you and I will fill here till we get some stars of the game. We hope to hear from Will Howard down on the field as the Buckeyes got a test tonight from Texas. And I think that helped set up the national title game with Ohio State not running roughshod over 3 consecutive opponents. Let's go downstairs to Ian Fitzsimmons.
Boys, I'm here with Ohio State quarterback Will Howard. Will, won a heck of a game. I know you're looking for Quinn Ewers. If he comes over, we can interrupt. What does this moment mean for you?
Oh, this means the world, man. We said we got to go do this thing, and here we are, man. I'm speechless right now. I got no words, man. I'm just blessed.
What has really clicked for this Ohio State team in the college football playoff?
Hey, we're playing with an edge. We're playing pissed off. I'm sorry.
Yep, go ahead. There's Quinn. He's got Quinn Ewers right now. Hang on, boys. These two have known each other since their Big 12 days when he was a quarterback at K-State. That was a cool moment, man. Go ahead. Elaborate on what's clicking.
Man, we're playing with an edge, and we're playing pissed off. And, I don't think we played our best game tonight, especially offensively. Defense bailed us out, especially at the end there, man. And, I think we were just beating ourselves a little bit. But, man, God is good. And, with the Lord on our sides, we can do anything. So, just blessed.
Hey, get that contusion taken care of. Go celebrate. Congratulations. You're going to the national championship.
It's crazy, man. Thank you. I'm blessed.
Go see you. Over to Quint with head coach Ryan Day.
With head coach Ryan Day, who just gave his wife Nina and your 3 kids a big hug, Coach. Take me through the emotions of that moment.
Well, Jack is somebody that has been unbelievable to me and my family, and so when everything has gone down this year and in the past few months, all the seniors, all the guys that decided to come back this year. We want to make sure we did everything we possibly can to let them finish this thing the right way. And so, for him to make that play in that moment just says a lot about his resilience and the team's resilience. It sort of, encapsulates everything that we kind of been through this year. But we still got 1 game left.
So there's a symbolism in that moment.
There's a lot of symbolism in that moment, absolutely.
What do you think made the difference, Coach, in the second half? It was 14-14, fourth quarter shows up, and you found a way to start making plays again.
Just gritty, tough. We felt like we were hurting ourselves with penalties along the way, and we were saying in the locker room, the only people that are stopping us is us. And so we knew that, and we just stuck with it. Again, resilience.
Coach, congratulations. See you on January 20th. Ian Fitzsimmons.
I've got Caleb Downs, outstanding All-American safety for Ohio State, who had the game-sealing INT. Caleb, this is why you came to Ohio State. This is why you left Alabama. What's this moment mean to you?
You got no camera here. I ain't gonna lie.
What's that?
You don't got no camera here.
What's this mean to you?
It's a really special moment to be a part of the team and everything to come together in the end. And then God makes the plays happen when it needs to happen. So he brought us in a close game, and we came through and fought. And I'm just blessed that he allowed us to come out on top.
What has changed about this team from that last game in the regular season during the college football playoff?
Really learn how to deal with adversity, learn how to keep pushing, and then keep learning from everything that goes wrong and throughout the season. Just gotten better the whole season.
What's been the most enjoyable moment, most rewarding moment for you?
Probably games like this, games where we fight through it all and put us together in the end.
His buddy Latham Ransom, his fellow safety, just came over. Hey, what is one of maybe the best tandem of safeties? Not maybe, Latham just corrected me. The best. Playing next to this guy. Describe it.
Man, I appreciate him. He makes me better, man. I try to make him better, and we feed off each other.
He pushes me every day. He pushed me every day. I gotta match his physicality more every day, and he pushed me to be better every day.
Latham Ransom, when it comes to playing for the national championship, one more game, what's that mean to you?
It means everything. It means everything. All the seniors, all the guys that came back for this, and we doing it, all the transfers. Coach fucking Day. This shit means Coach fucking Day. That's all I gotta say.
Caleb, I'm gonna let you clean that up. Last one, you're playing Notre Dame. Go ahead, floor is yours.
They have a great coach of Marcus Freeman. I respected him a lot during recruitment. Their safeties, I've watched their safeties, they play very well. Their defense does a lot of good things. Their quarterback's been playing extremely well, so it'll be a really good matchup.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Quinn.
Jack Sawyer surrounded by media members here. The tall senior from Pickering, Ohio. Jack, congratulations. Tell the fans at home what happened on the strip sack, the scoop and score. Describe the play.
Man, God has put me in a great position to make a play. And, I did just that. And I just give all the credit and all the glory to him.
Coach Day said that play was symbolic. Your relationship with him is extra special. How would you describe that?
I love him. I love him like he's an uncle of mine. And can't wait to play in the national championship.
Thank you, Jack. Head back upstairs to Mark.
Quinn and Ian Fitzsimmons, Quinn Kessnick, Ian Fitzsimmons, great job down there. It's a pandemonium. They got the stage out. The press is down there as well. Ohio State wearing the white T-shirts as champions of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic and the college football playoff semifinal to set up a championship matchup of the Midwest, Ohio State and Notre Dame, will play for the College Football National Championship game presented by AT&T on the 20th. It's a week from Monday, 10 days from now, 6:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. And Kelly Stouffer, a little more business to do here. We heard from a number of guys that could be your big Monster Energy player of the game. Who are you giving it to?
I'm going to give it to Jack Sawyer because of the symbolism that Quint talked about. He's an Ohio State kid. Remember all of the hell that was breaking loose after the loss to Michigan. And Jack Sawyer grew up wanting to be a Buckeye, and to get that play on this stage for his head coach that has been really vilified in so many ways for losing to Michigan 4 times. And I don't think there was a better guy on the field to be able to make the biggest play of the Buckeye season.
Give it to Jack Sawyer on the 83-yard fumble return, his second fumble return for touchdown in his career, both this season. It's Kelly Stouffer's Big Monster Energy player of the game. Brought to you by Big Monster Energy. Ready to take it to the next level? Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the beasts. Final thought on this game, Kelly. It seemed to me it came down to these teams' running game at the 1-yard line, as Quinshon Junkins was able to punch it in to untie a game in the 4th quarter. And then with the pass interference penalties, Texas had it at the 1-yard line. They couldn't punch it in. They went to the outside. They lost yards, and then the strip sack and fumble return for Sawyer finished it off.
Well, even though Ohio State didn't play their best game, especially offensively, as Will Howard said, the mark of good teams is when you can win different styles of fights. And a coaching staff that knows that their team didn't play their best ball tonight, again, especially offensively. 9 penalties for 75 yards. This is a team that's disciplined. They average 3 penalties for 37 yards a game. And all of a sudden they have 9. So the beautiful thing for a coaching staff is you get to advance to the national championship game, but you have a lot of things to point to say, guys, if we don't, they get their attention easily. Yeah. And if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, we're very difficult to beat. That's who Ohio State is currently.
I think coming into this game, many felt if Ohio State won, they were going to be big favorites over Notre Dame. The way the game unfolded, the way Texas played defense, the way Notre Dame can play defense. Is this a tighter national championship game, just first blush, Ohio State, Notre Dame?
I don't think so. I think, I don't know what the line's going to be, of course, but I think because of the way that Ohio State won, it proves that they can win in different ways. They were physical in a muddy, kind of mucked up game. If it was a fight, they were always in the corner throwing body blows. And they won the game anyway. They were perfect in the first 2 games, essentially. And so I think this might have been the national championship game, quite frankly. These 2 teams, whoever won going on to play Notre Dame, I don't know where Notre Dame's going to get their points, quite frankly, against Ohio State's defense. I just don't know where they're going to score more than Texas did tonight. And I believe Ohio State will get themselves right offensively and Katie bar the door.
As they say in the NFL parlance, any given Sunday, college football might be any given Saturday. We'll say any given Monday with the national championship game a week from Monday in Atlanta. And as we sign off, this is our last game for this crew.
Are you kidding me?
It has been an incredible, this is our 3rd season together with this crew. These 20 weeks flew by fast. Partner, it has been awesome.
Yeah, same to you.
Congratulations. I feel like we're the Ohio State Radio Network, as we called.
Was this our 5th or 6th?
5th game, 3rd straight, 4 out of the last 5.
They will want us next week because we're 3-0 in the college football playoff with them.
Do we qualify for a ring if they get the championship?
Pretty sure we do. Maybe they will let us do this together next year.
I hope so. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, Ian Fitzsimmons, Katie George. They will have the call of the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Coverage with Kevin Winter and Trevor Maddich beginning at 6:30 Eastern Time, and of course available on ESPN television. Final score from Arlington, Texas: Ohio State 28 and Texas 14. Congratulations to the Buckeyes, headed to the national championship game. For Kelly Stouffer, Ian Fitzsimmons, Quint Kesnick, great job tonight joining our crew. our producer, John Madani, our spotter, Ken Benowitz, statistician, Keith Parsons, engineer, Yvonne Suniga, and our coordinating producer, Pete Saccone. I'm Mark Kestisher. That'll do it from AT&T Stadium as we send it on to Kevin Winter in the studio. Here's the postgame show.
Gentlemen, great job tonight in Arlington. I can let everyone know the line has been posted on ESPN Bet for the national championship game on a Monday night, January 20th. The Ohio State Buckeyes right now are 9.5-point favorites over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at ESPN Bet. Your total in that game has been posted at 46.5. Coming up next at the College Football Live postgame show, give you the highlights of how Ohio State punched their ticket to the national championship game. That's all next. This is the College Football Playoff semifinals at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
In SEC country, the key to our confidence comes from having a goal and knowing just how we're going to get there. So in these pivotal moments, we come together for inspiration and a plan. Financial confidence in SEC country works that way too, when you and your banker get together to create your personal Regions Greenprint plan.
I think that'll really work. Thanks.
So let's huddle up, because in an SEC world, we're the SEC Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
With Eckrich, the official smoked sausage and deli meat of the college football playoff, it's super easy to score big flavor, even when you have no time between the laundry, your laundry list of responsibilities, and kickoff. You're still ready to go with perfectly seasoned smoked sausage you heat up and eat up. Whether it's Grandpa's famous chili dogs or your famous almost forgot the potluck deli sliders, Eckrich makes every game day taste and feel like a win. For extra delicious game days, just add Eckrich.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recover from and made it like it never even happened. Like when Boise State trailed by 7 points with 18 seconds to play and faced a 4th and 18 in the 2007 Fiesta Bowl. With a win probability sitting at a 0.1%, the Broncos pulled off a 50-yard hook and ladder play to force overtime and then won it in overtime 43-42.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.